North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 2035. You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Jacqueline Close-More Live with Jacqueline Close-More. Jacqueline Close-More. Live from jacqueline.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 2035192158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Jacqueline Close-More Live
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, welcome to the show. You're on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. I'm Jacqueline and coming to you live from Melbourne. This weekend I'm going to be at Pakenham Psychic and Wellbeing Expo just in the southeast of Melbourne on Sunday, doing some stage work there. So I'll be doing some live stage readings. That's where I go around the audience and pick people randomly to read for them. And so if I know you, I won't read for you because I already know you, so it's sort of, a bit too easy. So I make sure I pick out people I don't know and preferably don't remember having read before in case I have, because often after readings I don't remember people. It's actually a good thing. It's probably really bad if a psychic remembers you. Because usually there's something incredibly memorable about that reading that might not be great. It could be that, that they were doing some stuff that was particularly shifty and yet weren't very aware of the fact that you were aware. That could be, kind of funny. All sorts of other reasons, but usually not good ones. So if your psychic doesn't remember you, like, I remember me from like 38 years ago, you did like a half an hour reading for me at a great big fair where there was like 1,000 people walk through the door that day. And... Do you remember? And it's like, I don't even remember that day. I actually remember turning up to a hotel once. I was checking in, and it was the day before an event I was appearing at the next day. And I think that was a year where I'd done like 40 events that year and trained my fortnightly year-long class and my full-time private one-to-one client list. And been running this show and been writing for, I think, 3 magazines at the same time. Probably makes sense that I've got ADHD, right? But I now look at that workload and go, how were you thinking, girl? I was just work. That was it. Work, family. That's it. No social time. I had my friends. I'd chat to them. I'd have to make an appointment to see my mother. Not because she was that busy, because I had to slot it in, make sure I had time. And it was really kooky because at that time that I wasn't making time for myself and not giving myself balance, I'd actually get clients screeching down the phone line at me going, why can't you fit me in this afternoon? And they're calling at 7 o'clock at night this afternoon. Why can't you fit me in this afternoon? It's like, you're not that busy. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to be working till midnight and up to 6 o'clock the next morning talking to some radio show that's not even my own. But good luck with that. So now I have a call staff that take my calls, and I have an easier work life, and people go, if you can fit me in, because I know you're busy. I'm actually less busy, but I have more balance. And it sort of brings me to what I'm actually talking about today is the Justice card. And the lighting's not doing this card justice. Just kind of funny in itself. This is from the Spiral Tarot. Wonderful deck. Love it. And this video footage of it is just not doing it favours because it's actually a beautiful card. And this is Hera. She's sitting there. She's literally balancing on the scales. You see a feather there. Normally, you'll see justice cards often having the imagery of a heart on one scale and a feather on another, which is about, learning to balance your heart against a feather. You see she's holding up a sword and she's got a feather above her headdress as well. And usually there's this white column and black column behind her and to each side. So it's sort of about balancing the yin-yang balancing life. So, I was talking about work-life balance and my previous lack of it at the start of the show, because it is actually kind of a thing when you're going through the Justice card, as we've been travelling through the Major Arcana, and I've had a few weeks off because I've been having to balance getting over the immense amount of viral energies around in Melbourne at the moment and their effect on me, having been masked and locked down for 2 years practically. So the immune system goes, oh my God, and says, give me balance. And so one must stop. So you see, that Justice card, it kind of brings up the astrological sign of Libra, and also in the Kabbalah we're talking Lamed. So it's about instruction from within and listening to yourself and balancing, your yin and yang. Should I be doing what I'm doing or not? All these sorts of things. Often people with an 11 life path number or a 11 day of birth or something that adds down to 11 in their day of birth, so 29, for example, 11, 29, they're very good negotiators normally, for other people. If a 29's in their day of birth, they'll be a very good negotiator with everyone, usually. If they're an 11 day of birth, they might be more sensitive in their negotiations, and that there could also be, with some 11 people, yes, sensitivity, but sometimes that sensitivity is about how you're affecting me, not how I'm affecting you. What impacts am I having on you? The 11 people often sort of go, but that's right, it's just. And 11 life path number and 11 day of birth people can be working in and around justice or about social welfare, social rights, this sort of thing, equanimity, equality. But sometimes the 11 can be, I'm the judge, you're executioner here, and I'm in charge, and I get to judge what's happening. It's like, no, it's not quite how this works. But sometimes it takes a lot of convincing them of that. So, there can be an intense sense of sensitivity with the 11. There can also be a wobbling and a weighing up, like a pendulum swinging or the scales weighing before they make decisions. And if you look at Libra's version of indecisiveness as against Gemini's, Gemini's indecisive is, I've got 52 choices. Whereas 11, the life path number, and Libra, it's sort of like that lovely little girl in the taco commercial, and it's sort of like, why not both? So it's sort of like, do I want this or this? And sometimes like, but can't we do both? And it's like, no, some situations in life, they don't allow you to do both. And you have to sort of stop and sit back and go, which is actually in alignment with where I'm actually trying to go in life right now. And, what do I need to do about this? So, there can be all of those sorts of things to look at in that, in that justice card. So, some reflections, and I'll just, get you to maybe, here we go. I'm just going to have a look at this for you. Some notes about, and it's from an old course. Yeah, so am I carefully weighing and measuring my attitudes, beliefs and behaviours to ensure they are not obstacles to true understanding of myself? I think it's also like, am I weighing my attitudes and behaviours about my attitudes and how I think about things? And am I weighing how other people are doing or not doing that, and how I might be doing or not doing that, while not realising that I'm doing what I don't like other people doing? It's like when, you recommend someone to become the head of the FBI because you reckon he's going to be great, and you want someone else locked up for losing emails, and then you get raided by the FBI, and that raid is approved by the guy you recommended, and then you scream about how it's not fair, that you won't hand over documents or answer questions, and those documents aren't meant to be held by you in the first place. Don't know. Is that the definition of cognitive dissonance? I don't know. Could be senility. Let's just, work that one out over the next few weeks. How about Alex Jones and that payout, the Justice card? Spouting all that stuff for decades about people whose children have, and families have suffered so badly at the expense of this person making money off that, and then that person getting upset about having to pay out, defamation fees and, like fines for defamation, fines for the harm that's been caused here. I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have said that in the first place. So looking at your actions, your words, are they just? Are they the right things to be doing? Yeah, and are situations in your life where your ability to feel pain is a blessing? Sometimes, we sort of go, oh, I really feel bad, or you're making me feel bad now, when maybe they've done the thing that's, they need to feel bad to have reflection. I actually had someone once say that to me, you're making me feel bad now. And this is after they've done some things that were really awful. And I sort of said, do you think that's right? Do you think that's actually the right thing to be doing and saying? And they're like, oh, you're making me feel bad now, because I made them reflect. And some people, when they feel shame or guilt, they don't sort of sit with that well. They go straight into anger. And it's like, who am I going to be angry at? Oh, the person who pointed out the thing I did. Oh, not angry with self, because how did I let that behavior go? It's like, no, I know I did the wrong thing, but you shouldn't point that out because I feel bad. So sometimes feeling pain and feeling embarrassment and feeling shame, it's like, that's good, because it helps you recognize maybe not to do that anymore. Something to think about. Anyhow, have a reflection during the week, and until I see you next, use it and just reflect. You don't have to put up with that from other people. Love yous all. Catch you next time. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Susanna Medium with Susanna Hershaw. Live from SusannaMedium.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Susanna Media
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, lovely, lovely friends. Thank you very much for joining me. You are live with me here on the Ask One Radio Network, A1R Psychic Radio, and Moonstruck TV. And I'm your host, Susanna Hershaw, medium, your psychic medium through times of change. So thank you very much for joining me, and you are listening and you are watching this show, Susanna Medium. And oh my goodness me, it's exciting to be back, because last week, you see, I told you today, or this week, I'm celebrating my 3rd year, starting my 3rd year here on this, or with this wonderful network. So hippie hooray for another 3 and 6 and 9 and 963 and 639 and 12 and various numbers and years to come here, and Ask for Radio and all the team behind the scene. Thank you very much for all your support. So here we go. It's good to be here. Excuse me, and the voice is going to be here as well. So today, my lovely friends, I'd like to tell you a story. So I like stories, so stay on till the very, very end. Now, you see, I'm a musician, and from time to time, I enjoy listening to music or playing music. Not very often, or not that much, because I quite like silence, and actually I prefer silence. But on this occasion, a few days ago, I found a beautiful, beautiful meditation music. You know, one of those pieces which lasts for 10 hours. It goes as a loop and loop and loop, and you can sit in meditation or you can go asleep, and with that music, you can do anything what you want to do. But then you see that music, it really caught my attention because it did not have any beat, it did not have any story in that sense, but it was beautifully holding the space. And how I can describe the music, it wasn't green, it was more of the blues and the turquoise, those colors. That was the music, so beautifully holding the space. And as I was sitting down, I was really very much immediately in my heart space. So I got my little lesson. But then I kept on listening to that music that was on my laptop here. And then you see, as I was sitting, I looked into one of the social media pages, you know, the social media page where you would have an object on the wall, and then that makes a sound of that object. So I was on that social media, and not as if I am doing much there or I'm really looking into so many things, but there's something really caught my attention. There was this page, because somebody guided me to that page, and I was watching and I was looking at the various slides and then the various little stories really about everything what is happening in our world, why this music is at the background. And then you see, for the split second, I just imagine myself or the whole situation being in a film. You know, if I had a camera over there and just recording everything, how this person is looking at everything, the little icons and what is happening in the world, while this music is holding the space. And it really felt quite an interesting energy there. But then you see, what I found was on one little icon, excuse me, on one little icons there was a bear. The bear who was wandering around the streets in one of the big American cities, I think, was wandering around. And most certainly a bear should not be wandering around. So that caught my attention for a little while. And then I was looking at another set where I saw a lot of snow in one place where it should not be that much snow, so people could not really step out of their homes. So I was watching that little clip as well. And then you see how the whole thing is. It looks like that we've got all these icons. Nothing is moving unless you put your attention, put your cursor on them, and they start coming to life. And then I was going with the ones which were interesting in some sense, so I really needed to look at those things. So anyway, I saw the bear wandering, and I saw the snow. And then the next one, I remember seeing a place where people try to ski because it's January, but there was no snow. So I don't know, they were doing something else, just looking at the grass really, because I was looking at the grass. And then the next one, you see, I found a slope covered with snow, and a man trying to slide and ski, and that man was followed by a bear. It wasn't that bear I saw first, but it's a different bear. And I said to myself, now finally everything is in the right place, the snow and the slope and the man, and maybe the bear was following, trying to catch this man. So I really wanted to see what was happening to the man, so I watched until the very end. This little clip, what was happening to the man. I'm sure the man was fine, but then I said to myself, finally things are on one clip, everything is in the right place, the snow and then a man, and then okay, there is a bear there as well, but then is the bear's natural habitat. So here we go. But then my attention went into current affairs, so you know what is happening in our current world. I did not really look into many things because it is not really my really great interest, but I just clicked on various things for a couple of seconds, and then while this music, this beautiful music was at the background holding everything together for me. And I was really feeling that actually, you know, I was wasting my time. Most certainly I was wasting my time about 15 or 20 minutes just by watching and looking at these things. Were they necessary for me to know? Maybe not. Maybe for a little while I need to know what is happening, but we cannot know everything. We cannot give our attention to every single thing happening, whether they are important, less important, or the least important things. But then you see this camera, this imaginary camera catching the whole thing, me watching and observing and just pondering about the whole world. It really made me think how much we are wasting time just by maybe being on social media and doing various things. And instead of just really thinking about what is happening in our lives, what we can do to make a change or shift something. And then you see, while this music, it was about 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, so it was very quiet, and this music was really holding the space, and then really was really holding the space, and made me wonder that, you know, maybe one day when we go back to God's spirit consciousness, and when we are looking at our lives, especially the new generation, you know, the young generation, they might see everything in pictures, they might see everything in pixels and high resolution, I don't know, various things with music at the background, without music, maybe fast, or the volume up, or playing with the volume, or playing with the, I don't know what you can add, you know, various pictures or short videos, you know, not the long ones, because nobody has time to watch the long ones. We all want to have the short ones. And I just imagine, you know, maybe when we go back, or the time when we go back to God consciousness spirit, and then we will have all our lives laid out in front of us. Are we going to see everything in small icons? Let's say we would have like 15 little icons in a year, the most important things highlighted, and how we would see, where would we give our attention, where would we put the cursor. Yes, actually, I want to check that one. And maybe I want to have a little revision on that situation, or maybe actually I want to delete that one. I want to make it blurred over there. I want to take the color out of that one. And I just really thought about how it's going to work out for all of us. You know, we don't know, but then we have certain. I take it as an evidence. I take it as an anecdotal. Now, hang on, what is the word? Anecdotes, yes, anecdotal evidence that this is what we are going to see or experience. But then you see, I kept thinking, because I like this kind of thinking, and the music was holding the space, and I was really in this space of wondering. And then for a split second, I was actually thinking of, are we going to look at or be proud of those little icons, you know, the short videos on our palette of our lives, where we did something, where we contributed something to somebody else. Or maybe we are going to continue complaining about somebody else, a neighbor, or a colleague, or a child, or a spouse, or a parent, or the family, or a community, somebody in a community. So our attention is going to be on somebody else out there. And when we are back to God and spirit consciousness, are we still going to complain about those situations and then blame those people and blame those situations for the failure of our own lives? Or we are going to maybe we are going to be in denial, maybe we are going to, but actually, we cannot be in denial because this is still our story. So whether we are feeling very proud of those instances where we helped somebody, or we contributed, or we created something, or we were really living our life and really living from our heart space and created something. And created something for the benefit of others, not just for myself, but then for somebody else. And then you the same, think about your own life. What did you create? What have you created so far? What is going to be on your palette when you are going back to God consciousness? What kind of pictures, what kind of short videos, what kind of icons are you going to have? What kind of stories you are going to create to your pictures or your stories? What kind of labels are you going to put onto your short videos or your icons? Are you going to have colorful pictures, or are you going to keep things black and white? Or what is the frequency? What kind of colors? Or how are you going to present? How are you going to reflect about your own life? And then, of course, are you going to have music? Are we going to have the music which is rushing us through, which is actually more than 65 beats in a minute, and it's going to hold us, and keeps us moving and moving and moving. So what kind of music are we going to have as a background when we are reviewing our own life? Or maybe we are going to have the very, very chilled out, the blues, maybe we will have like 28 beats in a minute or 37 beats in a minute. Maybe we will have that one throughout our life. Maybe we will have those ones where we have pause, where we chose to be quiet, where we did not want to have anything and anybody around us. And maybe for a couple of years, we don't have anything and anybody on our palette. So you see, I'm not saying I don't know, but the whole situation really made me think on the whole experience, because it doesn't matter you are young or middle-aged or young in your heart and young in your body, and you call yourself a 60, 70 or 80-year-old person, doesn't matter. We are all young. With the very, very moment, we are very, very young, and we've got many, many good times ahead of us and many more opportunities to make those moments and weeks and months and years to make a lot of sense. So my invitation to you, my lovely listener, is that just think about that. What are you going to put on your palette? A few weeks ago, I talked to you about one side and the other side of the canvas, this year and last year, the old year and the new year. So that's really just focusing on one segment of our time here, what we are experiencing right now. But then you think about that, pause and look around and have a little different view of your life. What are you really proud of? What you want to keep? What you want to create? Where are you going from this very moment? So something to ponder about for another 7 days, and I'm going to be back in 7 days. So thank you very much for joining me. This was our show, Susanna Medium, with your host, myself, Susanna Hurcher, a medium, your psychic medium through the times of change, what we experience right now. If you are interested in my work, come to my social media pages, all the pages, everything is Susanna Medium, SusannaMedium.com, always 9 letters. So from this place, I'm sending you lots of love, many, many blessings, and A1R behind the scene. Thanks very much for your support, and see you in 7 days time. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
And now, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window with Reverend Elliot. Live from magic-works.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Reverend Elliot's Magical Window
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Elliot, your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, coming to you live from the city of New York, where we get together every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific to check over the tarot cards to see if how many of you people are hiding confidential documents. There, I said it. Yeah, okay. We're all under suspicion. So it could happen to anybody. I keep hearing that in the news. It could happen to anybody. Well, it never happened to me. I don't even know if I have a library book that's overdue. I just, I try to keep my nose clean, as they say. Anyway, the city of New York is getting back to normal. I mean, we have, yeah, okay, so maybe I'm just a few blocks away from a hotel where a few international guests are refusing to leave. But that's, you know, that kind of stuff is pretty normal for New York. The movies are back here. People are filming again. We hadn't had that for a couple of years, of course. I walked out of the building the other day, and as happens, if you ever run into me in the street, which is a distinct possibility if you visit New York, because I live in a tourist area, I live in a part of the city that people visit. You know, I'm just off Times Square. I have around my neck, I have a little teeny tiny little retro camera that I carry around with me, and I use it to, oddly enough, take pictures, which is what they're for. And I always get the same questions about that camera, which is, does it work? You know, things like that. People say, it's a spy camera. That's a great spy camera you got there, mister. And I say, well, if it really was a good spy camera, you wouldn't have noticed it. I used to have a camera in my wristwatch. See, now that was a spy camera. I don't no comment beyond that. But yes, I used to have it still pictures and video and audio, did the whole thing. It was beautiful, the little spy camera. So I get that camera gets me into more conversations. One time, a city bus driver, pulled up on 7th Avenue and honked the horn and yelled at me, come over here. And I didn't know. Was he recruiting? I know ridership on the city's buses were down. It was all down, but I didn't know that they were impressing people like the British used to do before the Revolutionary War. But he saw the camera around my neck and wanted to talk to me about it. So I spoke to him. And nobody on the bus seemed to mind. I guess nobody was in much of a hurry. I think since we shut down everything, people haven't been in as much of a hurry here. I think they learned that they can get by without doing things constantly. This used to be a very rushed city. I mean, always hurrying. I once got knocked down to the ground by Mayor Giuliani's police detail because I was in the way when they needed to go into somewhere, and they just shoved me out of the way and knocked me down. Another time I was knocked down on 5th Avenue by police because they were running after a guy with a gun, and in that case, I stayed down. Let me tell you, you know, there's times in life to stand up and be indignant, but when there's people running around with guns, that's not the time. That's when you start making yourself a teeny target. You want to make yourself smaller. But I've never seen anybody shot in New York, have I? Have I ever seen anyone shot in New York? No, I haven't. And I'm a native. I've seen a lot of celebrities in New York. That's what I was leading into, which is I was walking down the street yesterday with my little camera around my neck, and Sarah Jessica Parker stopped me in the street to tell me how much she liked my cute camera, and then hustled back into the trailer. She had some shooting to do, or a scene coming up, or a costume change. The city is bustling with irrelevant movie actors making irrelevant TV shows. So what can you do? I'm a New Yorker, and there's a law. A lot of people don't know this, but if you live in New York City, and a lot of you listening to this may decide to come and move here because it's an exciting city where anything can happen. But once you get here, you are required by law to do three name droppings a day. Now, Sarah Jessica Parker is just the only one that I can do today, so I'm falling behind in my quota. But she does have 3 names, so maybe that counts. I have had people, oddly enough, stop me on the street and say, hey, you're Reverend Elliot, and I think that's remarkable, considering that most of what I do is on radio here. So they find me. I do wear a big "Hi, I'm Reverend Elliot" button, but that's beside the point. But people have recognized me from Ask One Radio, which is quite an achievement. Of course, all that's going to change when I start delivering on my threat to go video, which I will. I'm looking at my video equipment off to the side of the studio here. I dust it once in a while. It's all set to go, except I'm a little nervous about it. Oh, man. I'm such a creature of radio and a creature of habit that it's a little difficult. Speaking of creature of habit and little difficult, I haven't shaved in a few days, so that's another thing. I generally shave even before doing the radio show. I like to prep and be good, but I've been very lazy about repairing the lamp in the ceiling in the bathroom, and without a lamp at night, we got plenty of light in the daytime, but at night I can't. I mean, I'm all for doing things in the dark and saving on electricity, but shaving with a straight razor isn't one of them. It's a little dicey anyway, which brings me to my February offer. I would like to do this just because it's a silly thing to do, and I think it's fun. See, I still have like a little bit of a cold. That kept me out of here one day a couple of weeks back. I have a book on how to shave with a straight razor. Now, I know that that's a little bit daunting to a lot of people. It's quite easy to do. I got into an argument. I write about this in the book, too. I got into an argument with a guy online who said that he had tried shaving with a straight razor and he kept cutting his face to ribbons. And I was stupid enough to say, well, you weren't doing it right then. Well, because obviously men have been shaving with a straight razor for centuries. And if you cut yourself to ribbons every time you do it, you're doing something wrong. You're not doing it properly. But apparently that goes on the list of things you can't say to people, like you don't have a sense of humor and you can't drive. Those are, you should say that to people. And those are surefire fight starters. But that helped give me the idea of writing a book on how to do it. And because the primary problem, the thing that kept me from doing it and shaving that way, and I'm glad I found a way around this problem, is all the maintenance. You have to do all kinds of maintenance on the razor. You have to oil it. You have to strop it. You have to hone it. You have to do. People send their blades off the straight razor. They send them off to a factory 2 times a year to get resharpened, and that's just too much work. To me, that's just unnecessary. I know people have been doing that too for hundreds of years, but that's their problem. So I found a way around it. I found a way that you can actually shave like the wonderful old-fashioned way. And you can do it without cutting yourself to ribbons, and you can do it without having to devote half your life to maintaining the razor, because you exist. The razor exists for you. You don't exist for the razor. Let's put it that way. And that was the thing that got me through the hurdle. And then I tested the system out on myself, and it works. And then I wrote the book, which I think is a wonderful, humorous book. And if I do say so myself, and it's profusely illustrated, and it delves into the history of shaving and all things like that. But here's the deal that I'm offering is if you want to get one of these this month, this is February. We're starting I thought it would, because this is the first day of the month. And as long as it's the first day of a month, let's start off with an offer of something. And if you get from Amazon.com a copy of my shaving book, I will send you a free shaving soap with it, which is a beautiful Mojo Brothers. That's my own brand of shaving soap that we have specially made to order, and it is just the fluffiest, nicest, most wonderful shaving soap I've ever used. This is why I'm only talking about it, because I can't shave at night, and I'm not a morning person. Until I get that lamp fixed, I'm just going to grow a beard, it seems, and I don't like it, and that, of course, is that only came up in my mind because of the video stuff. That, yes, I am going to be doing the show video soon. You'll be able to see me here and hear me see. I don't know. That sounded right when I thought of it. But so get yourself a copy of A Modern Way to an Old-Fashioned Shave. You can see that at Amazon.com. And I will, anyone who orders it through Amazon, I will send you a free tin of Mojo Brothers shaving soap. And that's a special free offer that I think you'll like. So check out the book, because now the main thing is, and a lot of men hate shaving, and I understand why, because it's a chore and it's just it can be a waste of time in many ways. But if you do it right, if you approach it from the opposite from the opposite point of view, like it's not something you have to do, but something that you can do, something you can take your time with and relax with. I show how you can turn it into an almost meditative experience. Because Albert Einstein himself wondered about shaving. He said that, why is it I always get my best ideas while I'm shaving? So because he's from the generation that shaved the old-fashioned way. And that you take time with. You got to be present in the moment, and you got to be relaxed, and you don't just zip and it's gone. So check out that book. I'll put a link to it at my Facebook page, at the Reverend Elliot's Tarot Consulting page at Facebook, which I urge you all to take a look at, because it's a wonderful little informative place. Then I put up sort of nice little fun facts about esoteric lore and links to things at my website, which is kind of fun. But for the month of February, just keep in mind that if you get a copy as a gift for somebody, see, Valentine's Day is coming up. Valentine's Day would be a good gift for the man in your life, a book on how to use shaving as a meditation technique, how to get the most out of it, how to get the cleanest, closest shave you've ever had in your life, and get a free shaving soap while doing it, and read about it and get a bunch of laughs and learn. That's the offer that I want to make today. Just I don't even have a presentation for that. Maybe I'll make a little ad and put that up at Facebook. It's just an inspiration that just hit me to tell you that if you get that book through Amazon.com, I will throw in a shaving soap. If you want 2 shaving soaps, just let me know when you order the thing too. Maybe we can arrange that. No charge. Well, we're all shuffled up as you hear the cards are being shuffled. What else? What we still had no snow. I mean, last time we spoke, I was talking about how terrified everybody is about snow and rain when it hits this city. Today, one of the most ridiculous headlines I ever saw in anything relating to the news, they said that this length of time in the winter, New York City has gone without snow now. They say it's unprecedented. And it hasn't happened since 1973. Well, geniuses, if it happened in 1973, it's not unprecedented, is it? I don't know what they think that word means. But I've got a theory, looking at the newspapers lately, like the last 8 or 9 years, I think that all the editors are on strike. I think I'll head over to the Daily News or to the New York Post building, and maybe the New York Times, definitely, and just see if anybody is walking a picket line there, and has been for 10 years. Because I'm sure, it seems to me that the editors are on strike because the sentences don't make sense anymore. It's unprecedented, and it hasn't happened since 1973. I feel like Oliver Hardy now. Well, we're all shuffled up. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get to the tarot readings now? As you can tell, I'm a little chatty because I missed the show last week. There was technical problems. The internet was dead in this part of New York, so that was I couldn't open up the window and use a megaphone and get to all of you people. I just use a microphone. So let's ring a bell 3 times to declare sacred space, which means no more babbling, and take a look at what's in the cards. Nice quiet 3 bells today. We'll pull back the curtain on the magical window for Desiree in Iowa. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm just kind of nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Just like you're talking to an old friend. How's that?
Okay.
Well, now you're going to get me nervous.
I'm sorry.
Do you laugh?
I've been trying to get a hold of you guys for like a couple of weeks.
Are you one of the people who laughs when you're nervous?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, because I've had experience as a comedian, and just laughing around me is just going to. I'll never let you off the phone if you laugh at everything. You're doomed. You'll be talking to me forever. So I get that way too. By the way, that's the funny thing is when I get nervous, I start laughing. We would be fun in a plane crash, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, probably.
So what can I look at for you tonight?
I believe it. I really wanted to look into my love life.
Okay.
It's just I want to know like which way to go, what to do. Like I'm just really confused.
Okay, let me tell you something. I've got some interesting stuff here. The first card I have is the 10 of Cups. And cups are about romance and emotional things. So that's good. The cards are listening to you. The 10 of Cups is the happiest card around. It's about perfected happiness and joy and love and family. So what the cards are saying right off the bat is don't worry about it. No matter how difficult it may seem, you're going to be all right. The Hermit is here. The Hermit shows that you'll be. The Hermit means you're going to be taking advice. You're going to meet somebody who's going to give you some good advice and help you out. That could be me for all I know, but it's probably somebody closer to you in your life. The 3 of Rods tells me that you're going to get what you want, but it's going to take a little bit of time. The 3s are about waiting for something to develop. But I have a card here that I'm concerned about. Have you been in a relationship recently that didn't work out?
Yeah, actually, he's currently in jail right now, and we're just like on the fence.
Well, because I've got a card here that shows that somebody is not being honest with you about certain things, whatever, that we could go into if you want, but it's just there's somebody in the background, somebody is messing around and maybe gossiping and saying things about you. Do you have the feeling that that's what's going on?
Yeah, a lot of the time, like through our relationship, it's always been like third parties that, like when it's just us, we're just fine, we're great, it's like magical. But then like his family, other women, friends, like they just hate the fact that we're together, and then like they create.
Yeah, that's the card that I see. That's the 5 of Swords, by the way, if you ever want to look at the card online, if you don't have a tarot deck of your own. But yeah, so that's the cards are showing me that that's what's been going on. And I wanted to ask that as delicately as possible because it's a very sensitive subject, but I'm glad to see that you're aware of it. And these cards are just confirming it then for you, because that's the source of the problem here.
Yeah.
Remember, though, that the very first card I got was perfected happiness and joy and the family and the happy home. So eventually it's going to work out. Okay, you'll be fine.
Is it with this one person? Is it with the same person? Because I don't know if I should wait for him.
Well, are you still there? Have I lost you? Well, if Desiree, if you can still hear me, you asked about waiting, and that's the card that I got, which is the 4 of Swords, which is about a person who's waiting. So it's hard to say, because I do see either a new relationship coming your way or this relationship reaching a new level. I don't have the ability to explore that at the moment. But that's what I'm seeing, is that this is going to be a period of timeout. this is going to be easy. I've got that card again. There are still people working against you. There are still people talking about you too, not just you alone, but the both of you. And I've got the Seven of Swords, which is also about somebody who's sneaking around in the background and doing things. You know, there's really a lot of negative stuff happening around you and this relationship that's coming from other people, not from you two. So that has to be dealt with, and before anything else can move forward. That's the most I can see at this point. I'm sorry that you got cut off, but that's as far as I can go at the moment. Let me just see. Again, I've got cards that show that things are going to be okay for you, but it's going to take time, and it's going to take work. Things like the Six of Swords, that's about a person who gets from where they are to where they want to be through their own efforts. So keep that in mind, because it's right now, because you get the 5 and the 7 here that I pointed out, those sword cards, you're facing you're facing trouble from a lot of people around you. So if you're still listening to this, if you can hear me, if you listen to the show in the archives, drop me a line. My email is asktarot@earthlink.net, and I can pull a few more cards for you to make up for the connection that went south. Jody in Mesquite, Nevada is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Well, that's what I'm here for. What can I look at for you tonight?
Basically just anything to see if hopefully things are going to get better. Things have just been really rough the last year or so.
Okay, well, first of all, you got the single most positive card in the deck just showed up. So that's good.
Oh, wow.
Might not even have to read beyond that, but I will. It's the Fool card. Now, that doesn't mean you're a fool. The Fool is the card. The gypsies refer to the card, and the person who gets that card is the beloved of God. There's divine protection. That things will work out. I'm getting cards of contradictory cards here. This is very interesting, because I'm getting cards like here, the Six of Swords, that's a card of forward motion. The Four of Swords, that's a card of just staying put. The Death card is a card of a new phase in your life beginning, and the Two of Swords is about nothing much happening. It's about stagnation. You see, I'm getting great conflict here.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
The Wheel of Fortune is here. That refers to change in your life coming. And the next card is the World, which is a card of great joy and happiness and success. But right now, it seems to me that you're kind of in a roller coaster thing, getting shuffled back and forth and back and forth. You know, things look good one day and then bad. If you get the feeling that that's what's going on, that's what the cards say is going on.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, don't question your sanity in that sense, because what I'm seeing here is it's not you. You're getting really positive cards here. The Sun, the World. This is all after the Wheel of Fortune that says this up and down situation is going to change. Probably because you're entering a new phase in your life, and that change is difficult. It's going to be a positive change in your life, but it's still change, and that's very difficult to deal with for most of us. And I'm saying us for a reason, because I'm not too big on change either. This is one of the reasons. I mean, I knew a guy who couldn't understand why couples that apparently hated each other stay together for years, until it finally dawned on him that people would rather be miserable than be lonely.
Yep.
Because loneliness is a change that a lot of people can't handle. But what I'm seeing, with you is that the change is coming, and it's going to be very good for you. The change revolves around something sad that happened to you not long ago. That it may have been the trigger for something changing. A relationship not going well, You don't have to go into any details if you don't want to, but what I'm saying is that when this up and down transition period ends, you've got nothing but really high quality positive cards here. And your life is about to change for the better, which is, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean you're going to like it while it's happening, but it's going to be good. It'll end up being for the best. And I don't mean that in the sense of, a blessing in disguise. When something happens to you and people say, well, it's a blessing in disguise, you really got shafted big time. But no, this is no blessing in disguise. You're entering a period of life where everything is going to be really good. It's just that getting there involves so many changes and so many ups and downs that it feels difficult. But there's still some sorrow attached to something that happened to you not long ago. There was a relationship that didn't work out, something along those lines?
I'm not sure if it's either a year and a half ago I had a stroke and found a brain tumor, and that's when things went bad with my husband. Or I lost my cousin who is very close to me.
Well, there's great sadness that something very upsetting and sad happened, and you're dealing with that, and that's why you have these up and down emotions. But you're going to come through it okay. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm still in this I keep saying ex-husband, because we've been separated over a year, but he still keeps coming back like we're married, but we're not. I mean, we are, but it's just really messed up.
I've been there myself. I know exactly what you're talking about. I had a marriage that didn't work out at all. That's to say the least. But she kept wanting to get something going again, and it's very confusing and very painful. But that's gone. That's over with as far as it has been for years. I did meet someone else, and we've been together for about 40 years now. So, it's a long time. So it's not the end. And you're younger than I am. That's for sure. I can tell you that. But because most people I meet are younger than most people I meet are younger than I am.
I don't know.
So
but
you'll
it makes sense what you were saying, the roller coaster, and yes, it all makes sense to me.
Well, when this happens in our lives, we start thinking, is it me? Is this just me? Is there something wrong with me? Because one minute you're up and the next minute, but you see, but the cards are, this is what the cards are showing, complete contradictions, that up and down thing. So yeah, it's confirmation in the cards of what's happening in your life, and it's not that it's not you in that sense. I mean, obviously it is. It's manifesting in your life because that's what's going on in your life now, but it's real. It's not one of these imagined things. So just again, what I'm seeing is the key to this whole thing is the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords, which are cards of sadness and an affair of the heart, kind of wrong. I mean, the Three of Swords, it's about internal conflict. If somebody asked me about the state of a nation, and they got that card, it would indicate civil war. So it's that deep.
Okay.
So that's the thing, is that it's really reverberating throughout what you're involved with now. That combined with your own medical situation, it's very, I've been dealing with medical stuff for several years now, and I understand what that's like. A lot of people don't. They think it's not like just getting a cold and getting better. Some illnesses reverberate and they stay with us because they change us. They change us a lot. Here, I got the Fool card again. See, that's saying you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Okay. So
Well,
just
it
to
makes so much sense, and I really appreciate it.
well, great. I'm glad it helped out. What I'll do is after the show, I will light a white candle to send some positive energy your way. But please know that it's being sorted out. You're working it out. You're going to get through this. It's just that this is not. It's painful, So you'll but it's not something you're imagining. Let's put it that way. That's what's worth knowing, I think. Okay.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh boy, and that's some heavy duty stuff. And when things go bad in a relationship and one party doesn't quite accept it, it's pretty strange. But that's because there's always an emotional tug. There's always something there that's going on, and I'm here to tell you that these things do work themselves out. People move on, people change, and like I said, we find where we're supposed to be. And this is the kind of stuff I like reading tarot cards for, because it looks at the aura around a situation. It's not like the usual stuff they show in movies where somebody goes to get a reading and the gypsy gasps, and then next thing you know, a piano falls out the window on them or something silly. These are very profound issues, and you can do a tarot reading for an hour on one subject and really tear into it and go into it. I do that all the time with people. And I don't know if should I mention this? Yeah, I will. I've got a new kind of tarot reading. I guess I'm an innovator in that sense, because that just means I'm a pain in the neck, is what it really means. It means I don't leave well enough alone. So I spoke to you about trying to upgrade the shaving experience by making the old-fashioned shave more accessible without all that silly taking care of the tools like you're a surgeon. But I'll be announcing this soon, and I will be doing a special thing about it here on Ask One Radio. I'm going to be doing a different kind of a tarot reading. It's going to be pretty damn expensive. I could warn you in advance. But we will tackle everything in that reading. Everything. It's not just cards. It's got other aspects to it. And you'll get your money's worth. That's for sure. But it's going to be a very special kind of a reading. And it's just for a few people. And it's not something everybody should do, but just for a few people. And you'll know if it's right for you. It's not the kind of thing, because it's expensive. I'm not going to try to shove it at anybody, but you'll see. It's going to be an interesting experience for both of us. Because, see, the main thing is, it's not about just me telling you what I see in the cards. We work through these things together. And when this reading experience that I'm developing now, you will be different and I will be different when it's over. This is something we will do together. It's not something I do for you. It's not something I do instead of you doing it. It's something we will be doing together. And it will take a day at least, probably. I'm thinking about 2 or 3 days worth of reading. It's an intensive thing. But more on that as it develops. Wendy in Brandon, Mississippi is next. Hi, Wendy. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good.
Well, maybe we can make that better. What can I look at for you? What would you like to look at?
My future, if you could. I've been kind of, I don't know,
okay,
stuck, I guess, ever since my children's father passed away about a year ago.
Well, the first card I have is the Ten of Swords. And that is an interesting card, especially if you ask about the future, because that is about the past in a sense. Because what it means is a lot of bad things have happened, and they're over now. The bad stuff is over, It's a nasty looking card. It shows a person lying face down in the mud, beaten up, bloody, sword sticking in her back, but it doesn't mean you're
Yes, sir.
dead. It just means that life threw a lot at you and you're still
Yes,
here
sir.
and you're going to get up and you're going to be okay. So that's worth knowing. In fact, the next card is the Wheel of Fortune, which tells me that this situation is going to change, and that's good. That reinforces the Ten of Swords, because the Ten of Swords is about the troubles are over. The Strength card shows me that you do have a lot of strength, because that's what got you this far, right? Is you've been working
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much on strength. So
I
there's
tend to not ever give up.
well, the thing is, there's something good coming your way. The Four of Cups is here. That's a card of life is about to offer you something very good in terms of emotional well-being. Could be romance. It could just be comfort, but you don't see it yet. It's on the way, but it's hidden. So
That
and
makes
that's
sense.
and then the next card is the Ten of Cups, which I had earlier for somebody, which is perfect. I mean, it's happiness perfected, and it's joy, and it's things. Man, you cannot get farther away from that first card, which is gray and dark and nasty looking. That was the Ten of Swords I told you about. This has sunlight and rainbows and children singing and dancing, because this is telling me that you've been through an awful lot of hard times, an awful lot of hard times. You've had the strength to deal with it. The Wheel of Fortune tells me that the situation is changing, probably because of your strength. The Four of Cups says that there's something coming to you. Life is about to offer you something really good. The Ten of Cups is perfected happiness. Here's the Star. There's a good card. That's about hope and optimism. So there's good stuff coming your way.
Okay.
There's a slight warning here, but it's no big deal. It's the Five of Cups. That's about a person who's concentrating on what was lost, and it's not obsessed, but it's still fresh. So
Sounds like
the losses it's still there, but there's right behind the person is two cups that are fine, as opposed to three spilled cups. Meaning that you'll turn around eventually and you'll see that that you didn't lose as much as you thought you did. You didn't suffer, as big a hit in terms of life. And you'll be moving out of that, commonly referred to as like the grieving experience, but you have to do that for as long as you need to do it. And I never ever believe in anyone saying you've snap out of it. Why don't you? You've grieved enough. You deal with it in your own way, in your own time. And if it starts to be getting in the way of your life, then maybe you want to seek a little help. But at the moment, you're still reacting to some really bad times that hit you, and you have to see for yourself that the bad times are over.
a lot of it, I thought things were going to be a certain way, and now it's not going to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of threw me off.
Well, it's a very difficult thing to have expectations that fall apart, because the first thing we learn then is okay, next time I'm not going to go into anything with any expectations, but we always do. You know that. Yeah. I mean, we all do that. I can just tell you this: the Temperance card is here too, and the Sun. Now, these are very important cards because both of them are about growth and healing. The Temperance card means that balance is going to be restored in your life. It's been way out of balance for quite a while, but you're going to get that balance back. And the Sun is about healing and growth and health and happiness. I got 3 cards here that indicate children. Do you have children, or are you planning to have children?
I have
Pardon?
2 children.
Yeah, because the cards that I'm seeing are showing that your well-being is going to be intimately associated with the children.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming. The main message in this reading is that the bad things are over. You're not going to really absorb that until you can see it and feel it for yourself. But I'm just telling you, that's what the cards are saying. And when you do, you're still remember that 5 of Cups. The person is looking at 3 cups that are spilled and is ignoring the 2 that are not spilled. Well, that's still the phase that you're in now, because it hurt. Whatever happened, it was extremely painful. It hurt a lot, and you're not ready to turn around yet. But when you do, you'll have healing and health and growth, and balance will be restored to your life. It starts out with such pain here, and yet shows you moving into better times, and it's a highly positive reading.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good. I hope it helps.
Goodness. Oh, it did. It just helped extremely.
And I want you to do me a favor. At some point, because this is no problem, but people tend to get readings like this and then forget them, because it's almost like it never happened.
I'm writing it down.
Well, also, it's the beauty of Ask One Radio is you can go to askoneradio.com and you can go to the archive, and after tomorrow, this show will be there, and you can listen to this call. Okay. Just look for the Reverend Elliot's Magical Window show from February 1st, and you'll be there at about 11:35 or so, 11:40, in that area. And take a look, a listen, because you're going to need to hear this again, because you've been through such a mess that it's going to be hard to believe it's over. Let me just tell one more card here I got for you. I got the Ace of Swords for you. The Ace of Swords is important. That's about a new way of thinking is appearing in your life. You're growing, and your mind is developing and changing in new different ways. You're reacting to what's happened to you. So that's the key, is that it's your mind expanding. And that's going to help you bring back balance and healing and health and growth and happiness. Okay, Wendy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want you to listen.
Thank you so much.
And I want you to listen to this reading again at the archives when the show is up in the next day or so.
I
all right?
will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for calling. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
And let's just shuffle up the cards here, because, see, that's one of the beauties of modern technology. And doing a reading this way is you can hear it again, because people have a tendency to act like it never happened, because you're being exposed to something unexplainable, something mystical. If you go to my website, magic-works.com, magic-works.com, there is a wonderful old movie from the 1930s about an occult operator. It's called Chandu the Magician, which was also the name of a radio serial. And this was the film was based on that. And one of my favorite moments in the radio show, it's not in the movie, but in the radio show, the guy had, maybe they couldn't afford it, the budget, but he had like hundreds of people attacking this magician in the desert on horseback, and he stops them. He stops them cold with an incantation, and has one come over, and he tells him everything that he wants from him after stopping the attack. And the guy swears to be his servant forever. But the magician knows that by the next day, the man's going to act like this never happened. He's going to convince himself it never happened. And that happens a great deal, that people will get a reading. It's so out of the ordinary. Most people don't get tarot readings, let's face it. And it's just so out of the ordinary. And they'll hear things and they'll understand them. But within a day or so, a lot of people will convince themselves that it never happened, that it was just a bunch of cards and it was a coincidence. So that's why it's good now you can hear it. And if you do a reading with me off the air, if you want to get a reading with me, and you can read all about how to do that at magic-works.com, magic-works.com. We can do that. We do that through Skype. And you can hit the record button, and then you'll have a copy of the reading to listen to at any time. So that's good. I like that about the technology. Chris in Englewood, Florida is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm very good. Beautiful.
I'm very
excited.
What can I look at for you tonight?
Well, get your crystal ball out and figure out what our family's supposed to do. We're kind of we're at a crossroad, and we really need some direction.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because this is almost the imagery on the first card that I have here. It's the Chariot, and that is a person who's in a chariot on the road, and one horse is white and one horse is black, and one wants to pull you this way and the other one wants to pull you that way, and you have to hold it together and get that thing to go the way you want it to go, and that's not easy, right? That's the tension.
Right. Right.
So let me see what I've got here. Well, the thing, I'm not seeing anything changing or moving right away. Okay, the next card I've got is the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is about a stalemate. It's about meaning in life things not necessarily moving, which means you can take your time. That you're in there. I'm getting these cards like feeling stuck, which is the Eight of Swords. You don't know which way to go. You don't know what to do. But I also have, and I hope this doesn't sound like a cop-out, but I have the Fool. I had that earlier in the first reading. The Fool is the beloved of God. The Fool is the card where everything you do is going to be fine, that you have divine protection, that you have angelic protection. So, you're good. You're going to be okay. I see a new.
You know what's so funny is I understand that. It's just being able to put it into a perspective for others to understand.
Well,
that's and being able to be able to not feel, to allow. We've had this vision and what we've worked with really manifesting through the universe for things to happen, and we really are at a stalemate. Truly is exactly what we said today.
Well, that's the card. Those are the cards I've got here. The thing is that, now here's another, the Four of Swords. I had that earlier too. This is a period of taking time out with nothing really happening. You're just going to have to stay the course for a while, which is that Chariot, which is just keep holding it together for a while. But I'm getting extremely strong indications that. Have you been having financial problems?
No.
Okay, because I'm getting if you did, it's going to be over soon enough, is what I'm seeing. Because I'm seeing a lot of money floating around you. I mean, cards
well,
about
that money floating around went out.
Yeah.
I the abundance came in, and I was able to do some incredible blessings in the last 3 or 4 weeks that I never in my entire life on this earth thought could happen, and it did. And so I'm very grateful. So
well, I'm seeing more
very,
money.
Very blessed.
I'm seeing more money again coming in. I'll tell you what I've got. The Knight of Coins and the Ace of Coins. These are both about beginnings. And of course, coins, obvious. The Six of Coins is a card of philanthropy in the sense of somebody's going to provide you with money. Here's the King of Coins. I mean, there's so much money floating around in your reading here that it's just, that money isn't going to be a problem. It's the Page of Coins. That's it's there. There's money on the way. So excellent. But right now, the only thing I can tell you is, because you feel the same thing, which is that stalemate, that things that aren't moving. The Nine of Rods is here. And the Nine of Rods is a person who is standing there waiting for what's going to come next. But the important thing is that the person in that card is extremely well prepared for what's coming next. This is why in some tarot decks, the person has a bandage on the head with a little blood showing through. And that just means you've been through the battles of life. It's metaphorical. It doesn't mean you're going to get clobbered. It just means that
it's a good thing.
Yeah, and because what's coming, you're prepared for. It's and then the Seven of Rods is here, and that's a person who can sweep away obstacles. When, gosh, here's another, the 8 of rods. That means whatever's going to happen is going to be, it's on the way. It's coming soon, but it's going to work out okay. The 6 of rods. Somehow, see, I'm getting cards of money and career, coins and rods. The 6 of rods is triumph. So you'll be okay. You're going to be successful. It's going to take a little more time. The 8 says it's not going to take a terribly lot more time. It's on the way. So whatever is going to be coming is coming, and you're well prepared for it, and you'll do well with it. That's the message I see from this.
Excellent.
I got to run.
Wow. Thank you. I heard what you said to her previously. I'll go and listen to the repeat. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. I so appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of Reverend Elliot's Magical Window. And wow, look how the time flies. If you didn't get through and you wanted to get through, you can reach me off the air at asktarot@earthlink.net. That's the email is asktarot, ASKTAROT @earthlink.net. Earthlink. Right? That like predates AOL, right? You know, it goes. That's how long I've been doing this. AskTarot@earthlink.net. There's also a contact form at magic-works.com, magic-works.com. Take a look. As I mentioned, I have a special offer for that book that teaches you how to do some. Teaches a man how to shave beautiful. Oh, my wife has loved the way my skin has been ever since I've been shaving this way because it's like so soft and I only have to shave about every 2 days when I use this because it's very close. You can go to, it's a tiny URL that'll give you, you go to mojoacademy.org. Go to mojoacademy.org and check the shaving thing. But you can also go to tinyurl.com/happy-shave. See? We think of everything in this technological era. tinyurl.com/happy-shave. And to take a look at that. The offer is not there yet, but it will be because I only invented the offer while I was talking to you guys. You see, you pried it right out of me, which is a free Mojo Brothers shaving soap. But take a look at the stuff over there at mojoacademy.org. I got to get to the post office tomorrow, mail out a whole bunch of books, at least a dozen more books. So that brings us to the end of tonight's show, and we will get together again next week at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific to take a look through the magical window of the tarot. Until then, remember, who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift back to the universe. It's been great talking to you, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network. Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
And now, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window with Reverend Elliot. Live from magic-works.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Reverend Elliot's Magical Window
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Elliot coming to you live tonight on the Ask One Radio Network, where we get together every Wednesday to look through the tarot cards. I've got a cold today. Isn't that wonderful? A good old-fashioned cold. Nothing serious. Just annoying enough to be annoying. It's just, I hate colds because you're not really sick enough for anybody to want to rush to your bedside and take care of you. But you're sick enough that it's nasty and it's just, you feel, yeah. But here I am, shuffling up the cards, ready to go. And we are, we're more than halfway through January. It's been a nice winter here in New York, which is, if there's one thing that characterizes New York, it's not the theater, it's not the eccentric people, it's the constant level of complaining that we have. Many years ago, you go to the Internet Archive and you'll find loads of recordings by Gene Shepard, who is the narrator of the wonderful movie A Christmas Story, from his book. And there is a recording there from, I think, 1961, is somewhere buried in there, of him explaining how New Yorkers go berserk when there's rain. That he says water falling from the sky makes big, brave New Yorkers go limp, and they panic, and it's a mess. But the same thing here now. We don't have snow. We haven't had snow this year, and people are complaining. They're whining and complaining about the lack of snow. Well, we're going to get snow. I mean, this is almost a given. It's been only about, I think, 4 years since we went this long without snow, and it's just not, in terms of geology and climate. That's not even a microsecond. But we're going to get snow, and you know what's going to happen then? People are going to complain. They're going to complain about too much snow. They're going to hound the mayor for not cleaning up the driveways. You know, the whole thing. I've come to believe in my 282 years as a New Yorker that it just feels that way, that complaining is the thing. You know, they talk about people who, Harry Cohn, the guy who founded Columbia Pictures, his advice to people was, kid, he was one of those tough guys who always said, kid, yeah, there goes my nose, you see. The best advice for going through life is always go through life as though you're demanding to see the manager, which, of course, today there'll be a video about you and call you a Karen, but that's neither here nor there. But complaining, you know, I learned long ago, you used to see, you can't please everybody, they would say. I'm starting to believe you just really can't please anybody, so you might as well just do what you think is right, do what you think is best, enjoy your life, and don't worry about complaining, because anybody who can complain that there is no snow and then complain a little while later that there is snow. And by the way, people are so grouchy when they get old. Remember how much you loved snow when you were little? Now we don't even have snow days here in New York for kids. That's the truth. They don't shut the schools down because of snow. They make the kids not trod through the snow, but go on a laptop or a computer, a desktop, or whatever you use, a phone, who knows. But you have to attend school through the internet. Now, one of the joys of childhood was getting up on certain mornings and knowing that you're headed over to Central Park or Riverside Park, in my case, with a sled, and you're going to spend endless hours climbing up a hill just to zoom down it and then climb it up again and zoom down. Do people still do that? It was so much fun. It was ridiculous, but it was fun. It was just what we were supposed to do. Because when you're a child, that's a job, you see. That's your job as a child. There's certain things you have to do. And one of the things, whether you like it or not, is you have to go climb a hill. Generally, there's one about every 3 blocks in New York called Suicide Hill. And everyone thinks that theirs is the only one. All the kids do. And you get into fights with kids in other neighborhoods about whose Suicide Hill is the most dangerous. And we all hear the same urban legend about the kid who went off of the grass and onto the concrete and cut his fingers off. Kids are gruesome, you know that? Kids are just really gruesome. But that's our life. As a child, that's your work. You have to get up. They might as well have a time clock that you can punch when the snow comes, and you have to go a certain number of times up and down the hill. And then you go home and you collapse, and then you start sneezing a couple of days later. And here we are. I have all the benefits of the cold without having done any of that. But I don't complain. I try not to complain about anything. If there's one thing that I don't complain about, it's complaining. But I'm relating it. I'm relating that to you. If you come to New York to visit, you'll have a great time. You're not going to get murdered. Trust me about that. Your chances are you're going to get killed. If you're not, first of all, odds are you're not going to get murdered. But the odds are if you do get killed, it'll be by somebody you know and love who has a very good reason for doing it. It's not going to be killed by a total stranger. That's the way it usually goes. But the places that you want to see here in New York are highly protected, like where I am in the Theater District and the Times Square area. It's pretty good. That's rather morbid, but hey, these are the facts. People are led to believe that there's crime waves. I was in school, believe it or not, I did go to school. I went to high school, and a group of kids caught another group of kids robbing the lockers in the gym, and they beat them up. Now, it just so happened that the kids who were doing the robbing had white-colored skin, and the kids who were being robbed and did the beating up had black-colored skin. And I knew all of those kids who were involved, and there wasn't a single person around who didn't want to beat up those other kids. They were obnoxious kids. But that was simply it. They were found robbing the lockers while everybody was in the gym. The New York Times reported that as a race riot, literally a race riot. And racial strife, and that goes back to 1960. Okay, I'm not going to review. It was the 60s, let's say. Could have been the 70s, but it depends on how old I am at any given moment. I adjust my age. Did you know that? You do that too, don't you? You adjust your age as necessary. Depends on how I feel in the morning. Right now, I'm feeling very old. But that's when I learned not to particularly trust the news, because I knew the kids involved. I knew what had happened. I was almost a witness to it. The only thing that stopped me from being a witness to it is that I was not very big on bouncing a ball, and just for the hell of it, So these were just kids who liked playing basketball in the gym, and they were good at it. And then they came out a little early and saw these other guys opening the lockers and stealing watches and things like that. And they gave them what is informally known in New York as an alley party. But according to the New York Times, there was nothing but racial strife in that school, and it was awful. You'd never know it by being there. But hey, there you go. That was the first lesson I learned about news. Not long after that, I went to work at a television station, and part of my job was preparing news. So I was well prepared for that. Well, I'm glad to be back with you tonight. We're going to spend as much of an hour as we can without me taking up too much time bloviating and telling you about all kinds of things. I usually do that a lot, but if I do it now, it'll be about how sick I am of chicken soup. And I don't think you want to hear that. Hot and sour soup, I like. That I like. I make hot and sour soup when I have a cold, because it clears the sinuses, as far as I know. The way I do it anyway. I use loads and loads of Tabasco sauce, and vinegar is in there too. That's a simple way to do it. You can find any simple recipe online for making hot and sour soup. If not, just drop me a line and ask Taro at earthlink.net, and I'll tell you how I do it. But I am a product of hot and sour soup right now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a voice, and I would be sneezing, and I would be complaining and crying and whining and complaining. That's what I would be doing, because I am a New Yorker. And let's stop complaining. It would be nice if complaining has become an art form now. There's whole political parties that just live on complaining. There's whole politicians who just run on complaining, which I find quite amusing when the people in charge of things start complaining about things. But that's neither here nor there, because those people come and go, and the realities of life, such as tarot and magic and the beauty of the universe, it's all here. And we ought to just enjoy it as much as we can. And like I'm very fond of saying, there's a whole industry out there that's designed just to upset you, and it's called the news industry. And I'm not saying you should not pay attention to current events. Just don't let it get you down, because they will always find something to upset you. Notice as soon as they were finished with the chaos over the Speaker of the House, now it's, the chaos over the debt ceiling. And then as soon as they work that out, which they will, it'll be, the chaos over something else. Because that moves product, that sells things. Well, here we deal with the realities of life. We deal with the beauty of living, and we try to take a peek around the corner of time and space with the tarot cards. So I'm going to now ring a bell 3 times to declare a sacred space, and we'll jump right into the readings. The first up is Christy in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Hello, Christy. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing as well as I can be. I'm just with a cold. I'm just afraid I'm going to start sneezing, and I have this bizarre fear that I'm gonna get somebody sick in the audience, which is really stupid. But I still feel it. You have a cold also?
I do. Where I live is we got allergies so bad here.
Oh gosh, something, I never knew how bad they could be. But this is a little tip for you. If you can avoid getting pneumonia, do that, because I had pneumonia a few years back, and it left me with allergies. And I called the doctor and said, "What the heck? What is that all about?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, that's like a side thing. If you get pneumonia, chances are pretty good that you'll end up with allergies." And I said, "Well, I did. Is this what people have been going through all the time?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, man." So if anybody out there with allergies, do me a favor. I'm not a violent person, but if somebody starts making fun of you for the allergies, just punch them in the nose for me, would you? Just tell them Reverend Elliot said it's okay. I'm sure the police will go for that. Yeah. So, the allergies. Yeah, my heart is with you there.
It's bad because it's humid a lot here.
Oh. Here it's, I don't know, humid. And like I said, everybody here in New York complains all the time about the weather, but humid it isn't until maybe August. Then we get humidity. But I always think
it's 70 here. Like tomorrow it's gonna be like 74.
Yeah.
75.
But I keep thinking, because you can look, there's a wonderful website called Shorpy, SHORPY. They have high-resolution photographs going back to the early 20th century and late 19th century. And they're just beautiful pictures, and a lot of them show New York. And one is called The Close of a Career, which is kind of gross, but it just shows kids playing in the gutter in New York in the early 20th century with a dead horse lying there. Because that's what they did. And now I know that pollution is a bad thing and that the cars are polluting the air, but I'd hate to think what this town in New York smelled like in August when we had horses all over the place, because horses have their own form of pollution, and it's bad enough, but in the August heat, oh man.
Right.
But I've done some time traveling, as they say. There's a wonderful book, if you can find it, get it. It's called Practical Time Travel. It's a very little book. It's a slim book. It's excruciatingly expensive for some reason. It's become famous. I bought one a few years ago for $3, but they're up to like $60, $70, $80. So if you can find a decent price for one of those, get it, and it'll show you how you can travel around in time. This is something I discussed a few weeks ago. I do firmly believe that we carry the memories of all our ancestors within us, and we can access those through meditation. And I've gone back to New York in the past, and I'm not doing that ever again because it smelled awful, awful, awful. So listen, what can we look at for you tonight? Maybe now that our noses are clogged, it'll be the perfect time for the bad smell.
I really don't know what's going on lately with me anymore, because it seems like I have so many setbacks. Like, I don't think about the setbacks, but it's like I get 2-3 feet ahead of me and I'm 5 feet back. Like, I got in an accident at work, and now I'm, just got so much with my back and my neck anymore that I've lost my job, and my relationship is failing with my boyfriend, and it's just so much going on. I don't know what is going on. So I was just calling to see what is going on with me, or is there any good things coming?
Yes. Yeah. The first thing I have is good news, which is that the Ten of Swords is the first card I got while you were describing that. And the Ten of Swords means the bad times are over. That means the worst has happened and it's over. I also have the Star, which is a card of hope and optimism. There are things happening that are very confusing in terms of romance in your life, which I've got cup cards here, which are about romance, and they're kind of up in the air, and it's very bewildering. But we know that from what you said. But so I'll skip that and just get to the part that looks good. There's a sign here of a new relationship coming. And now that can mean two different things. That could mean that your older relationship will reach another level, or there will be something new coming to you. Because I'm getting positive, the Knight of Cups is about something new happening in terms of affairs of the heart. And the Ace of Cups is also about something new coming. But it's also a card about growing happiness and good things on the way. Now, this is consistent with the Ten of Swords, which says that the worst is over and things are going to start getting better for you. So either you're going to have a new relationship that is going to be very good, or the older one, the one that, has problems, that's going to work out.
Okay.
So that's good. The main thing here is that Ten of Swords, which literally means that the world has thrown its worst at you and you're still here, and you're going to get up and keep going. So it's good news. Anything else you want to look at?
Do you think they're going to get to the bottom of my neck and my lower back? Because for 6 months I've been down.
Well, the card that I had about that was hope and optimism, was the Star.
Okay.
So that's a good thing too. But I keep getting here like the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups. In terms of the cups, I'm getting happy stuff for you. So I think that you'll get through that. You'll get over it. I mean, here's the Sun. I was hoping to get that card, and there it is. Like, that's the card of healing and health and growth. So I think things are going to work out very well for you. It's just the back is awful. I mean, I had a doctor one time who told me that human beings are never meant to walk upright, and that's the problem. And then I thanked him and got a new doctor. That's not what I wanted to hear. But yeah, back problems are whew, man. So as long as you're getting medical attention and you're following what they're saying you should do, and you feel comfortable with it, and you don't ever hesitate to get second opinions, is the way I feel. But the card here that I was hoping I would see for you, anytime somebody has a medical problem, I hope to see that card. And there it is. It's the Sun, which is health and healing and growth and happiness. Good,
because it'd be in my favor, because, I mean, like I said, now I got unemployed from where I was injured.
But you have a legal thing going, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I can take a look at that and see what there is with that. If you'd like, I'll shuffle the cards and take a look at the legal situation. We were involved in a legal thing here. It took a while. It took like a year and a half or so, but it's always
something
worth
that
pursuing.
I never would have thought of.
Same here. Okay. Well, this is good. The cards are very good. They're favorable here for you. I'll tell you what they are. I mean, there's nothing coming outright and saying, yes, you're going to win, but here's what you got, which is the same message. It's the Five of Rods, which is a card of stiff competition, but it has within it the promise that you can deal with that. Then there's the Nine of Cups, which shows a very happy, well-fed, content person. And then there's the Six of Coins, which is a card about receiving money. Okay. So you see what I'm getting at? And oh, bingo, here's the one. And here's the card. Here's the biggie, the Justice card. You're going to get the justice that you're looking for. Now, as with many, and having been married to a lawyer for like almost 40 years, I should tell you, I understand you may not get everything you want, but what I'm seeing in these cards is that you'll do okay. I'm not seeing that. That's me talking. That's just me. That's not the cards. The cards are not saying you're not going to get everything you want. You know what I mean? That's just me. The cards are showing. You look at that Six of Coins. You look that up on the internet, the Six of Coins with tarot, and they all show a guy handing out money. You know, that's the good one. The Justice card speaks for itself. You will be getting justice, and the Nine of Cups is, like I said, is a contented, happy person who's very well fed and enjoys the good things in life. So we can infer from that you're going to do all right financially too. Okay.
Well, good. Well,
so hang in there.
So much, Mr. Elliott. Thank you.
Get over that cold, and I promise to get over mine too.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. And we'll shuffle up the cards. You're listening to Reverend Elliott's Magical Window on the Ask One Radio Network. Does my voice get lower when I have a cold? Does it sound more impressive when I'm sick and have a cold? I knew a guy who he had a radio gig, and every once in a while, every few years, he would develop polyps on his vocal cords, which apparently is something that happens to people who talk for a living. And when that happened, his voice would go way down, and he would make a fortune doing voiceovers for products and commercials and radio ads and TV ads, and then he'd go get the vocal cords scraped and get the polyps removed, and he'd had a fine voice, obviously, but when he had those polyps, he would just rake in the money. Those were the good old days. It wasn't me, that's for sure. I did a few commercials for radio in my time, but one time I was listening to an oldies station here in New York, and I was on a ladder painting the ceiling, and the radio was on, and one of my ads came on, and I almost fell off the ladder. I was so surprised to hear my own voice coming out of the wall. So I guess I'm not cut out for that business. Sabrina in Vancouver, British Columbia is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliott.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm not bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, just getting through a cold. So maybe hot water and bourbon would do it. Somebody told me to do that one time when I had a cold, but then I ended up with another problem, which I don't want to go into. So what can I look at for you tonight?
Okay, I guess one of the first thing is if you can see kind of what's going on with my aunt.
Okay. Is your aunt no longer with us?
Oh, she's still here.
Oh, good. Because I do get afterlife readings for afterlife things, and people are very delicate about that, and I try to kind of tiptoe around it a little bit. Okay, so you want to spy on your aunt, right? That tarot is good for that. So we see what's going on?
There's lots going on. Just wondering if you could see anything how it's going to go.
Does this involve money?
It involves money and
because I have
lots of issues.
I have the King of Coins, the Queen of Coins, the Ace of Coins here. The first cards I pulled out, and the Two of Coins and the 10 of all these 5 cards I just pulled out are all about coins. So the cards are telling me look into money. Is something going on financially with her?
Yes.
Okay. There's struggle. There's a strike. There's somebody. Look, I'm going to do this as diplomatically as possible. There's somebody behind the scenes doing something bad. Is that what you see going on?
Well, I thought there was one person, but I'm not sure if there's just one or more now.
Well, I definitely have a card here about one person. It's a Five of Swords, which is not a very good card. Fives are trouble in tarot, and the Five of Swords shows a rather smug person sneaking around, doing bad stuff, let's say, in the background, and that's not a good sign. I also have the Seven of Rods, which is a person, it could be you, who can handle that, can sweep away all these obstacles and will be successful at handling it. That's the Six of Rods. So what I'm seeing is, while there's somebody who's creating trouble, there's somebody else who's going to be able to handle it and stop it and just stop the troubles, which is something I like to see when I find a troublemaker in the deck, because it's not nice, that's pretty much there. The person to be concerned about here is a very charismatic person, an attractive person, a person who is powerful and impresses people. There's somebody around like that?
There definitely is one. And there's someone else that we've kind of put in charge to try to stop it.
Well, from what I see here, what you're doing to stop it is going to work. And here's the Justice card again. I had that just earlier for the previous caller. That the card said there will be justice done here. That's why I have the Six of Rods here, which tells me that things are going to work out very, very well. But it's going to be a struggle. Although you're going to be able to handle the struggle. That's the Seven of Rods.
Okay, be okay.
But there is somebody who's doing things that is not the best interest in your aunt, and you know this, so that's good.
Yes.
So the cards are just pretty much confirming what you know, is that there is somebody doing this. The Ten of Coins is the card I have here at the finish, which is a happy ending to all that. It's going to work out all right.
Okay.
So that's good.
Okay, great, thank you. And I'm just wondering if you could see something or anything with my mom's overall health.
Health, let's see. I'll shuffle them up again. Let's see. I've got cards of waiting, like the Two of Rods, the Two of Swords. Twos are about balance. Twos are waiting. Three of Rods is waiting for something to bear fruit. It tells me that if there was something that was wrong health-wise, it's in abeyance right now. That it looks like this is a good period.
So
okay.
The health overall with her seems to be okay.
I'm not seeing anything wrong here. I'm seeing just everything kind of status quo, like, No, that's just a set of cards here many miles away. If you have any concerns, please go check it out with a doctor, because this could also mean that if there is anything wrong, they can find it and deal with it.
Okay.
But what I see now is things are kind of stable. I'm getting well-balanced cards. Let's just put it that way. Things are stable.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
I guess the last one is, what do you see happening in the future with me?
Well, overall, I see that you need, and you're going to take some time out for yourself, and you're going to have balance restored. Your life feels out of balance. Don't you feel that at times?
Yes.
Well, you're going to restore that balance. I have the Four of Swords, which is taking time out and just letting things percolate around you, just relaxing, and the Temperance card, which is things returning to balance, and I think that's just about what you need at this point. You'll be good at that. The World card is here. That's a card of success. So you need to take care of yourself a little bit more. You're very good about helping other people, is what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to need to take some time out for yourself, because I know it sounds selfish, but you can't help other people if you don't take care of yourself first. And you'll do that. You'll do that. And the temperance card shows me that you will retain balance in your life. You will have a return to balance, and that's good, because you've been very busy. From what I see here, emotionally and mentally, you've been quite busy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So that Four of Swords is a nice relaxing period of just taking time out for yourself. Okay, so look to do that, because you have it coming and you deserve it. I just shuffled and cut the cards again, and I got the Temperance card again. Definitely balance is coming your way. So that's good.
And do you see anything spiritual happening here?
Well, the whole thing is going to be wrapped in spiritual accoutrements here, because I've got the Judgment card, which there's going to be a rebirth. After you get that, see, there's the sword, the Four of Swords again. That's that period of resting. That's followed by the Judgment card, the Temperance card. Now again, the Empress, which is a card of making things grow. A person who's very creative. Yeah, you're going to head for something very good spiritually if you can get that time out for yourself and just pull the various forces in your life into balance. And you're working on that, and you're going to succeed at it, from what I see.
Okay, and I guess just, how do I word it? Spiritual protection around me would be very important for me.
Well, I'm seeing that, and see, the other thing is, the Nine of Coins is here, for instance, and that is a card of a person who is at peace with herself and at one with herself, and can be all right alone. It doesn't mean loneliness. It doesn't mean being a hermit. It just means that you're centered and you're at peace, and that was the balance that you had, and you're going to be getting that back. Okay?
Okay, so I'll be getting the peace, the balance back again.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's balance will be restored to your life if you can take out some time just for yourself and pull away from these things, because that'll help you a great deal.
Okay, and spiritually,
there's a period of growth coming after that.
After that,
yeah.
Okay.
But you'll get there. I've got like the Six of Swords here, which tells me you will get there. You will make it.
Okay, and could you suggest anything to help spiritually protection, or?
What kind of protection do you need?
Just from being safe and not being, I don't know if the proper word is let's say, attack.
Well, okay, I will do this. First of all, I'll tell you, I think that period of time out that I saw on the cards will answer that, because you'll be able to do that. But get yourself a return candle. They're kind of large, but you can get them at various occult supply places like Wisdom products or Azure Green, things like that. And it's half black and half red. And if anybody's sending you anything negative, burning that is said to return it to them. So that could help you out.
Okay, great.
Because there is some negativity going on around the situations that you're describing, but you're pretty well covered for it. But get a return candle and try that out.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. Bye now. And let's shuffle up the cards. And hey, look at that. We've come to the halfway mark, and you're listening to Reverend Elliott's The Magical Window. I call it the magical window, but it's really just tarot cards. I don't know what struck me to call it a magical window, but it's at least I didn't call it magical goggles. That would sound kind of silly. Would you imagine being tied to that for 11 years doing a show called Reverend Elliott's Magical Goggles? Although beer goggles are close enough to that, and we discussed that earlier when I said somebody told me to go out and drink bourbon when I had a cold. I'm not going to explain what happened to me after that. Sarah in Conway, South Carolina is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, considering I just have a bit of an annoying cold. How are you?
I'm okay.
Well, maybe we can make that a little better. What can I look at for you?
Like, is there anyone around me protecting me?
You looking for spiritual protection, maybe like from the other side?
Well, I was thinking if there's my daughter around me protecting me.
Has you lost your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Let's see what we've got here. Well, I have, well, the first card I have here is the High Priestess, and that's one of the cards that I look for when somebody asks me to see a thing like that, because the High Priestess sees behind the veil being that which separates this world from the one to come. So this is something positive is going to emerge from this reading. Here's the Death card. That's another, see, okay. The cards are falling into place here. The card that I have, and there are two cards I have here, and we can read these as a message. They're both tens, and tens are about completion. Tens are, in this case, very positive. There's the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Coins, which is a card of, these are both cards of happiness and cards of family. And the 10 of Swords, I have 3 10 cards here. These are cards of completion, which, of course, you know, her time here was completed, and now she's somewhere else. The 10 of Swords, though, is an interesting card in that it means the worst is over, and I'm not suffering anymore. So I'm not going to ask you to go into any details about this, but the message I'm getting is that that I've found completion, fulfillment, and there's happiness here, and that the message. And I get these. This is what's so peculiar. I get these a lot when I do this kind of reading, almost every single time. And the message is about happiness and joy. And that's what they, I guess what they're saying is that, and it's useless to say don't be sad, because we're always going to be sad. But it says that that I'm happy, and that's the message that I'm getting very emphatically from the Spirit, because I have the High Priestess card and the Death card here, and I'm the interesting thing about the 10 of Coins is that it's a card about ancestors, and it's almost, when I get that, and I get that a lot with these readings, is I'm with my ancestors. So this is a person who is, the Spirit is doing very well. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else you want to look at?
I just wanted to know, am I right about my health?
Well, let's see what I see about your health. And of course, if you have any doubts, you know, check with a physician. Very important.
Yes, sir.
As somebody who has had his share of medical visits in the last couple of years, you know, I can tell you. I'm seeing that you're very strong, you're very powerful, and you're going to do well. I mean, I'm not getting anything bad or good, if you know what I mean. I see life just continuing for you. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
But if you have any doubts, get a checkup, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Oh, there was the. I haven't heard a dial tone in so many years. It's always quaint when I hear that. I like dial tones. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at a phone from the 1920s that I use, which has a dial on it, and I can no longer use the dial. So that my phone calling has been drastically limited from that particular instrument. But you'll see one day. You'll see what I've got here. I've got a nice brass candlestick 1920s phone, which I don't think originally had a dial on it. I think somebody put that on. I could probably get a touch tone dial pad for that, but That would look pretty damn weird, don't you think? Amber in Des Moines, Iowa is next. Hi, Amber. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hello.
Hi. How are you tonight, Amber?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What can I look at for you?
I was hoping to connect with my dad.
Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, boy, here's a good one. The moon card. Have you been dreaming about your dad?
Very much so.
Because that's what that card is about. It's the subconscious and dreams and oh man, that's a good sign. Let's see what we have here. I have the Judgment card, which is references Last Judgment. So that's pretty much a confirmation that this is an afterlife reading. The Ace of Cups is here. That's a card of happiness. Everything is. I mean, I've got nothing but little happy cards here. It's so peculiar because whenever I do these readings, the message comes out happiness, even though there's a hint of sadness. The sadness of being gone is there. It's always there. Like in the Moon card has teardrops on it because there's always a tinge of sadness. But the spirit that I contact is always happy. And that's the message that they definitely want to get across. Here's the happiness and health and growth. There's the sun. It's all good stuff. So that's, again, these readings get so bizarrely dull, you know, they've come to. I seem to reach the people when they've come to terms with what happened to them. Once I did a reading, and it was quite clear that the soul that I had reached was not happy at all about what was going on. You know? But that's a whole other story. There's a book in that one. But here, everything is fine. I just shuffled them again, and I'm still getting cards of happiness. So.
Good.
So that's the short and sweet answer. That the message is I'm doing okay. Here where I am. Well, okay.
All right.
Anything else you want to look at, or is that it?
Should we look at maybe I don't know, my marriage?
Well, I've got the Lover's card right up at the top here. Now that also has a deeper meaning, not just simply romance. It's about making a choice. So it seems to me, and I also have the Hierophant, which is a card of marriage. So the cards are, again, the cards are working for you. They're telling me that they're hearing you. This isn't going to help you at all, but it's telling me that there's a choice that you need to make in terms of your marriage. Now you knew that coming in, though. And but what they're not going to tell me what the choice is, and I wouldn't even dare to interpret the cards to tell you what to do, because the cards have more faith in you than that. The cards are very successful, and they're telling me that whatever choice you make, you'll make the right one for you. You've had some rough times. That's the 10 of Swords. That's the card that says the rough times are over. The 6 of Rods is the card that tells me that whatever you choose to do, it's going to be good and it's going to be successful for you. Okay, this is the second time I've had this card tonight. The 5 of Swords tells me there's somebody here who's making trouble for you. Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna win. You know, you're not gonna be victimized by that person. But there's a person there who wants to make trouble for you. You don't have to give me any details because I know that this is going to be intensely personal. But what I'm seeing is that you're going to make the right choice for yourself, and you're going to do okay for yourself. And the hard times are going to be over. Okay?
Okay.
Anything else you want to look at?
No, that was all.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
And I will, after the show, I will light a white candle to send positive energy your way to help you with what is undoubtedly a difficult choice. But like I said, the cards show me that you're going to do what's right, and you're going to be happy with your choice. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now. Let's shuffle them up now. Oh, there goes my nose again. Does it sound odd? Does my nose sound funny to you? My nose is running. I used to have one of those little wind-up toys with a nose that walked around, because my nose was running so much. But now, it's the old pick up the phone and say, is your refrigerator running? And, well, if you had a misspent childhood like mine, you know what comes next. It's the same as calling up the bowling alley and asking if he's got 10 pounds. Oh, never mind. Ava in Phoenix, Arizona is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I hear you.
Nice to talk to you.
Oh, glad you could call through. What can I look at for you?
I guess, can I start with just I don't know what Spirit wants me to know?
Are you on a speakerphone? Because I'm having a little hard time hearing you here.
No, I'm on my regular phone. I'm just in a hallway, so it's probably echoey from that.
Yeah, it's a little, sounds like you're in a big church. So what exactly did you want to look at? I didn't quite hear it.
Can we look at what's going on in my, with my career in education right now?
Sure. Well, that's outstanding. I got the Ace of Rods. That's a card here. That is a card about career. So there are new things coming your way in terms of career, which I would hope in terms of, since it's linked to your education. The Page of Coins is here too. That's a beginning of a stream of money. That's pretty good. The Magician is somebody who's got the power to make things happen, and you're drawing spiritual power from above, and you can use it here. You're going to be very successful. The Six of Rods, that's rods again, our career. That is a card of success and getting what you want and achieving it. The Two of Rods is here too. That is also, you're getting a lot of, the work is the main thing. Career is the main thing here that you're concerned with, because I'm getting all these cards that are rods. The Two of Rods is about waiting for something to happen in your chosen field. That's the thing. It's gonna take a bit more time, but here's the Ace of Swords. Now this is important because you mentioned education. Swords can be about strife and struggle, and that all depends on the other cards in the reading. But they also have the meaning of mental activity, and you're learning, and you're in school, and that is mental activity. And I'm seeing that in the sense that the Ace of Swords is going to be related to the Ace of Rods, which you have here, which is your education is going to lead you to a very good career in terms of what you want to do, and you'll enjoy it, and it's what you enjoy doing, and it'll pay well. The King of Cups is here, and that tells me that you're probably, in terms of work, you're more interested in the fulfillment angle than just the financial, correct?
Yes.
So you'll get that.
Okay.
Let's just end it with this then. The Ten of Cups is the card of perfected happiness. Your education, see, you asked about education and career, and I have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Rods, which is about both of those things. So excellent. Yeah, and it's all happy. It's all good. So you're going to be all right.
Okay.
Anything else to look at?
Can we look at my love life?
Sure, I don't mind that at all. Well, what would you like to know, or just see what the cards show you?
Just whatever the cards show me is fine.
Okay, did you recently have a not too good experience romantically?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I got the Nine of Swords here. That is a sad card, and that is generally, things not working out. Now, the Six of Swords is next, and that's a person who just picks up and keeps moving. So that's good. That is absolutely good. The person is moving from rough waters to calm waters on a little boat, and you're pushing yourself. You're getting there. So it stings. It hurts. You're not ready yet for another round of an affair of the heart. That's the Eight of Swords. Shows me that you're a bit tied up still, but it's coming, and it'll be okay. You're not the kind of person who freaks out when you're alone. That's the 9 of
Oh.
coins. I had that earlier for somebody. You're centered in a way that you can be alone and still be happy, and you're not one of those. We all know people who are constantly, they need somebody. The Lover's card is here, but the Lover's card is the next one. It's in your future, and that'll be successful. Now, here's something I've got to run because we're running out of time, but I do have a few minutes, so let me tell you what's going to happen here. And I have 100% record of almost being right. How's that? This is the Four of Cups. That is a fascinating card in terms of relationship because it tells me that somebody around you is interested in you, but has not made it clear.
Okay.
So keep an eye out. See if somebody's paying a little more attention to somebody you know. See if it's somebody paying a little more attention to you than usual. See if that person is leaving the door open a little bit, metaphorically speaking, or literally. Then there'd be no doubt. But you know what I'm saying. If you look at the card, if you're familiar with tarot, or you can go online and look at the Four of Cups. It shows a person sitting there looking at 3 cups and contemplating the affairs of the heart. And there's a hand coming out of a cloud holding another cup, offering it. And that is the new relationship that's coming, but you don't see it coming. So it may take you by surprise, but it's going to be somebody who's near to you. And, oh, boy, here's the King of Cups. I'm glad you got this because the emotional compact with you is very important. And you're hurting a little bit because of what happened, but you'll get through that. And let me leave you with one other one. This is another cup card, and I'll leave you with this. It's the Three of Cups, which tells me that you may be meeting this person through people you know. Okay?
Okay.
So, but it's good. Sometimes it means the completion of a matter in plentitude and luxury, but it also means that something comes about romantically through your friends. So keep an eye there. But you're very young, I bet, and you'll keep going. Well, to me, everyone's very young now. You know, you'll see how that happens when you hit my level. You'll see how suddenly everyone's young. but you'll see what I'm talking about. But you'll be okay. You have something coming, and it's going to be very good. I want to leave one last card for you. Oh, the Three of Coins. So back to work. You're going to be starting when you do get a job, when you do get into your career, when you do get the work you're looking for, you're going to start with an assignment that's probably temporary. Keep an eye out for that because you'll excel at it. You'll do so well that it'll lead to other offers. How's that?
Okay, that sounds great.
I've got to run. I've
right.
used up my time for the week, but I will send you positive energy with a white candle as soon as the show is over. How's that?
That sounds good. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. And folks, that's it. We have hit the wall. We have come to the end. Can you believe it? We've come to the end of another episode of Reverend Elliot's Magical Window here on the Ask One Radio Network. And I didn't sneeze once, although my mouth is so dry. Oh, man, I'm gonna drink some dehydration fluid, which, let me say hydration fluid. Drinking dehydration. What would dehydration fluid be? Vodka, right? That would do it. That would dehydrate me and throw me away. But no, I'm going to be drinking a nice, tall, cool glass of hydration fluid because I don't like being dehydrated when I'm sick, and it doesn't help. So let's get into a few things here now that I want to always remind you of. My website is magic-works.com, magic-works.com, magic-works.com. There's like 100 and something pages there of interesting magical stuff that you can look at and have fun with and play with and contact me with, and you can see all kinds of interesting things there. Recommendations of books, there's videos there. Oh man, one of the things I love seeing is when I look at my reports from the website on a daily basis. I see people who just tool around and see a lot. I don't see who you are personally. I just see that somebody visited from someplace and then hit a lot of pages. And I love that. And then there's mojoacademy.org, mojoacademy.org, for a book there that will change your life. mojoacademy.org has a great selection of books, including books that I haven't written, but I have reissued. So those are all there, mojoacademy.org. You can also find at magic-works.com a contact page for me. So I will be back with you again next week on Reverend Elliot's Magical Window. Until then, remember that who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift back to the universe. Bye-bye now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Your Time to Shine with Julie Yeager-Walker. Julie Yeager-Walker. Live from Wings of Souls with Julie.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Your Time to Shine
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in and being here with me this evening. I hope you are all doing well and your week is going fantastic. So this week has been a very interesting week for me. I feel like there's been a lot of lessons learned, so to speak, and a lot of things happening, a lot of spirit activity, a lot of messages coming through, seemingly more than normal. And usually I'm getting a lot of messages, but it seems like there's been an overabundance of messages coming through this week. And I've had some really interesting connections that I want to share with you this evening. So I've talked on my shows about messages from spirit. I've even had callers and I've talked to them about, loved ones leaving messages, whether it be sequence of numbers or coins or feathers or songs on the radio, whatever that is. And I just feel like I've had an abundance of those this week and felt it was just something that needed to be touched on this evening for those of you who are needing to hear. And you might say, well, I have no idea what my loved ones are trying to tell me, right? So first of all, it's a matter of being in awareness. That when you ask the question, you have to be in awareness to receive the answer. So I had a situation at work that was a little bit of a struggle this last week, and thoughts kind of ran through my mind. Do I stay? Do I go? What do I do? So today, just today, so that was a couple days ago, right? So speaking of looking for the answers or needing to know what those answers are, right? So today I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm listening to a tarot reader that I like to listen to. And the message that completely jumped out at me was, okay, Gemini, just hold off on doing anything. Like, you don't need to do anything right now. You need to let this simmer and wait for about 2 weeks. Okay, message received, right? Then on my way back from lunch with a friend, I was thinking about this situation that I was dealing with, and a song came on the radio. Do I stay or do I go? I kid you not. The exact words that I had been thinking about a few days before, and there they are on the radio. So you can't say that spirit doesn't have a sense of humor, because I kind of chuckled and I said, yep, I get it. You're listening and I'm hearing, right? But it also made me stop and think about that actual statement, right? So there's just been a lot of little things like that this week. I have a friend who actually listens to the show very regularly, and she's going through a little bit of a rough time, and we were messaging back and forth, and she told me, she says, I heard this tapping on my window early in the morning, and I don't know if I was dreaming or not. And I said, no, that was your loved one coming through. And they're showing me an open window. Did you ever sleep with a window open? Oh, no, we never did. I'm like, well, there's something to that. I guess I'll have to sit on that for a little while because nothing else at that moment was coming through. So the next day, I'm doing something at my home in my home office, and I pick up my little calendar and I go, oh, I need to update my calendar. It still says it's last Sunday and it's now Tuesday, right? So I go to change my calendar, and what does my calendar say? Let me read it. Very uncanny. It says, open the window of your mind. Allow the fresh air, the new lights, and the new truths to enter, right? So we had just been talking about an open window, not sure what the meaning was. So I messaged her back and I said, this is it. Look at what I just got, the message I just got. So it's really about being in the awareness. When you ask the question, right, then be in awareness of receiving the answer. Again, it could be a song. It could be a conversation you have with a friend. It could be a conversation that you hear in passing. I remember a time I was walking from lunch, and I can't even exactly recall what I was thinking or what the conversation was, but the person I literally walked by at that point in time said, it's time for you to make a move. And I stopped. And I turned around and I looked, and the person was not talking to me. They were talking to the person that they were walking with. But the timing was absolutely perfect, that I heard the words that I needed to hear at the exact moment at the right time. So it's also, right, it's about being in the right place at the right time and listening, right? So being open. So when those things catch your attention, right, you automatically go to the verse of a song and it catches your attention, or the name of a song, or maybe you look at the clock and it says, 111, and you see that over and over again, right? These are all messages from our loved ones trying to get through to us saying, I have a message for you, right? And then it's about being in awareness. What was I thinking about at that moment when this thing struck me, right? And thinking about that. And if you don't pick it up the first time, say, okay, I think I missed that. Can you show me again? Because I need to understand what this was, right? Having that conversation, asking the questions, and then being in awareness to the answers that come through. Because they will give you the answers, right? You just have to be in awareness to get them. So be on the lookout for all of the answers to your questions. And I hope that you find this very valuable. And this week, you get some of the answers that you are looking for as well. All right, we are going to head to the phone lines right now. Right now we have Alana in New Hampshire. Good evening, Alana, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hello, thank you.
How are you this evening?
I don't know. I'm looking for some guidance, and I'm hoping that you can give me those answers I'm looking for.
Perfect. So do you have a question for me this evening?
Just in general, I'm feeling lost.
Okay. All right. Alana, let me just take a few minutes and tap into the energy of it and see what your loved ones and guides have to say. And while I'm doing that, there'll be a little moment of silence, and then I'll be right back with you, okay?
Wonderful. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. All right, Alana. So, yeah, I can feel that. I can feel that that emotion or that feeling of being kind of lost. It's feeling like you have lost. How do I say this? Lost your shield, or lost your. It was like somebody in your life. It's almost like your protection. Like somebody, you've lost your protection. And you're feeling kind of lost around that whole thing. And it's like somebody has stepped away, somebody has moved. There's this feeling of like a piece of you has been taken with them, per se. And it's leaving this hole, this feeling of not knowing what to do. How to be in your own space again. And so it feels like that's what's creating this feeling of lost. It's what they're showing me is it's a matter of realizing who you are without this person or this group within your life. You had kind of become so ingrained with them or a part of their life. You just melded with them, right? And so it's about you being able to find your own identity again. Does that make sense?
Somewhat. I, at this point, am just mom. And both of my children require 24/7 care. So I truly don't feel like I have a personality anymore.
Right. Right. And that is, very common, right? Being a mom and having children and, making sure that their needs are being taken care of and met before your own. And you do have a tendency to almost meld into them and kind of lose your identity and lose who you are, right? So what they're showing me is being able to find your purpose outside of being a mom, because you're so much more than that, right? You wear a lot of different hats. You are a lot of different people, many different types of personalities. And so it's about kind of like peeling away that piece of it to find out who else are you, right? Because there's so many other facets of who you are in your life. And it's about trying to find even just a little piece of something to do for you, right? You get so caught up in being a mom, especially when the children are young, right? And they require so much attention and so much of your attention, that it's really hard to carve out any time for yourself. And that's really what you're missing. You're missing a little bit of that me time, right? Even if it's 10 minutes before you go to bed, right? Or 15 minutes before you go to bed. Try to carve out a little bit of time for you, right? And whatever that looks like for you. But taking that time to just sink into that feeling, right? If you can even find some time, even in an evening or maybe on a weekend, to be able to get out and maybe talk with friends, have coffee, or, you know, do something like that. It's like, it's about reinventing who you are besides being a mom, right? And if you can find that peace, then everything is going to shift and come back together. And then being that mom is going to be easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like what they're showing me is, of course, being a mom, you give and you give and you give and you give and you give. We're givers, and that's what we do when we're moms, or we're caregivers, right? So it's about filling your tank, because right now your tank is empty, right? And rightly so. However, you need to be able to fill your tank so that you can take care of them, so that you can continue being the role of mom. Because if you can't fill your own tank and find some happiness and joy about who you are as a person, and your tank is empty, then you can't care for your children in the way that you want to be able to care for them.
I'm just wondering if there is a particular direction that I should be going in or focusing on at this point, because there are so many different facets to my identity, I guess.
Right.
I'm looking for that purpose.
Right. Okay, hang on here. Let me see. I hear the word creative. There's a part of you that wants to be creative. You want to create. So whether that is in, I feel like there's an artistic piece to this, an artistic component to this. Like my arm is going back and forth. It's like I want to paint, or I want to write, or even color, right? It's like there's some motion with the hands and the arms. And they're showing me like dancing, right? Even ease, and this is something that you can even do at night, right? You can put on some music and you can just gently flow with the music and sway your body, move your arms, right? There's this creative spirit in you that is wanting to come out.
Okay.
It's about gentle movements. It's like gentle brush strokes is kind of like what they're showing me, right? It's just very flowing, very gentle. So it's not like getting out and hiking or anything like that. It's very gentle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting like a big yes on this dancing, on this body movement of this flow, right? It's just about it's about moving the body. It just feels like you're very stagnated. And so by moving the body, by flowing, it kind of gets everything moving within the body, even the digestive system, right? Moving the fluids, moving, just moving everything so that energy can flow back through your body again.
Okay.
And so, yeah, finding that creative piece. Something that makes your heart sing, right? So when you sit down to think about that creative piece, it's about asking yourself, looking at that thing and saying, wow, would this make my heart sing, right? Does this feel light and airy to me? And if the answer is yes, then that's what you move forward with. But if it feels kind of heavy and dense and sticky, then that's not going to be the one for you. Okay? So ask your soul, ask your body. I know that sounds very strange, but just ask your soul, ask your body, is this something that would make you sing? Is this something that would make you feel good? And you're going to get an answer. Your gut is going to tell you yes or no.
And is there anything in particular that I should be doing to reach true communication with my spirit guides, or is it just going to be more patient?
What it is right now is that your brain and your being is so blocked because you have so much going on. You have no space or no room to be able to connect. And so by being in that creative mode, by dancing, by flowing, by finding 10 or 15 minutes of peace, to be able to turn your brain off, to be able to hear them speak, okay? Because it's there, right? And they are speaking to you. It's just that you have a lot of noise and confusion going on in your head. And when it's so clogged, we're not able to get to that space and place, okay? So again, that creativeness, that movement, find something that can occupy your mind in a easy way, right? Like painting, or even sitting and doing dishes. If you can sit and do dishes, and just kind of turn your mind off. I'm getting monkey mind. If you can turn that off so that you can be free and open to listening.
I worked as a dishwasher for a good long while, so dishes won't do it for me. But I guess the concept.
It's the concept, exactly. I love a dishwasher too, believe me. But it's just a matter of being able to quiet the mind, right? Again, even like taking 10 minutes before you go to bed, right? Sit, turn some music on that calms you, that resonates with you, and just try to sit in the moment. I'm being shown that you need to do something active, like take a pad with a pad of paper and a pen and scribble, okay, as you're listening to the music. Doesn't have to be anything, but it's like it's occupying your mind so that spirit can come through and speak with you, okay?
I think that's something that I keep thinking, maybe on the outskirts of my mind, it's kind of getting through that would be the direction I need to be going. But
yeah,
I still haven't done it. So
yeah, it's actually just about you sitting down and doing that, because they're trying really hard to get through to you.
And I'm trying really hard to listen. So it's
well, and there's a point of trying too hard. I know that sounds really strange, but
there's many times over.
Yeah. So it's about being able just to relax your mind, relax your body, and let whatever comes through come through. And you know what? If nothing comes through the first night, that's okay. Don't put pressure on yourself. Try it again on the next night. Because if you get into that rhythm, right? And especially if you do it at the same time every day, then spirit's going to know, oh, wait a minute, this is our time. All right. It's 9 o'clock. She should be sitting down anytime with her music and getting ready to talk to us. Right. So it becomes easier and easier. The hardest part is just taking the step to do it. Right. Okay. But But again, I'm really getting that you need to do something. You need that movement.
Tai Chi.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yep. Because what it's doing is it's giving your mind something to occupy, but not so much that you have to think about it, and then that's when your brain kind of releases, and then you're able to hear what is being said, what is being spoken. Okay.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Getting me the verification that I needed, that I guess I have been hearing correctly all of this time, but just not following through on.
There you go. It's about follow through. Absolutely. Well, Alana, we're coming down to the last few seconds of our show. So I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. I hope it's been helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, that does it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. It's almost the weekend. Do reach out to me on my Facebook pages at Julie Yeager Walker Medium or Your Time to Shine, or you can always reach me for a reading if you would like, personal one-on-one reading at wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for astrology and psychic readings with Lady D.
Lady D.
Live from LadyDPsychicParties.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is astrology and psychic reading
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi everybody, welcome to Astrology and Psychic Readings with Lady D. I'm your host for this next half an hour, Lady D. I hope you've all had a wonderful week. So even like today, we've got a really, with the astrology, there's things that were coming up today, and also we've got the new moon that's coming up this week too. So, and I'm coming an hour earlier from those in Australia. So I'm coming here at 2 p.m. here in Australia, and in New York it's 11 p.m. So, okay, so today we do actually have a conjunction with Neptune, and we've got the Sun, and we've got Mercury. So with this is going to be our judgment might be cloudy, and our thinking, we might even be sort of not feeling motivated, but our thinking is not clear thinking. We can't get a clear picture on things with the Neptune that's sort of fogging things up a bit there. And we've got the moon that's in Capricorn today. So the Capricorn moon is really trying to get us to be motivated, get things structured, get things going. We're going to get things done now. We can't be too emotional. We just got to get things done. But then a lot of Pisces energy that's coming up is sort of bringing up emotions and bringing up things to the forefront today. But also we've got coming up this week ahead, we have this new moon that's coming up on the 22nd of March, which is on Wednesday at 4:23 a.m. That's my time here in Sydney. So it will be more like the 21st if you're on the other side of the world. So, and this new moon, it's not going to be an ordinary just new moon that's in Aries. We're also going to be a square to Mars, and it's going to conjunct Mercury, which is also going to be in Mars. So we're going to have this week Mercury moving into Mars. Mercury moving into Aries. Sorry, getting that all mixed up. So what's this with this Aries energy? When we're dealing with Aries, we're dealing with ourselves. Aries rules the first house, which is you, your body, and it's about you. When you speak to an Aries, if you know anyone that is an Aries, Sun, they can be very strong personalities. I have a friend who has a lot of planets in Aries, so she's a strong character. And the thing about with Aries that they think that they're always right. So they can be a bit argumentative, and they're good leaders. So with this new moon we can bring up things to do with leadership, about you being a leader, you being more confident in yourself going forward, but also like you're thinking that you're right, your thoughts this week, especially with this new moon, you're going to be like, I'm very much in control and I'm right. There's another thing about being perhaps independent as well. Aries is a very strong sign, so it's going to be a very strong energy that's going to be coming up here. Where we do have, so we've got the Sun that's going to be here as well, and we've got Jupiter in this sign as well as Chiron in this sign. So it's going to be a lot. So the things that may come up here could be like strength in your communication in the way that you think. So I feel like it's going to be more about you, what you think, how you're feeling. It's about yourself, wanting to be in control of your destiny. And it's like with destiny, we can't really control what's in our path, whatever's going to come our way. Sometimes we get feelings, and we get I remember a few years ago, I had a feeling I was going to be in a car accident, and I was being very cautious everywhere I drove because I had this feeling of being in a car accident. And I had it. It was just a little bump. It was nothing big. I didn't need to get the car fixed. It was a tiny bump, and even when it happened, it just felt like a little bump from another car, and there was no markings on my car. But I knew it was happening. But I couldn't control that either. I knew it was going to come, and I was trying to be overcautious. I was being very careful everywhere that I went in the car, and it was like it was just destined to happen. So, but we're going to try control it. And even myself, someone who's I'm an Aquarian, so I'm a fixed sign. Who I've been there where I've tried to control what's going to happen in my life, and sometimes we just can't control things. But this is going to be coming up this week. You're going to be looking at every situation in a unique way. It's going to be, you might feel highly strung and confident about your belief systems. So conflict with those that think differently from you. And this is the thing. I have a friend, my friend who's a very strong Aries. She said to me once that she was reading things about our personalities, me being Aquarian and her being the Aries. And I forget what she actually read, but whenever we'd have an argument, I would say to her, okay, if I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere, none of us were going to change our opinions, I just say, okay, and I'd move on. And she said to this time, that really annoys me. She says, you don't believe what I say. I know I'm right. And you go, okay, and you move on because what I felt was right too. That was the thing. So we got here, wanting to stay in control of things that are out of our hands. So again, with the whole destiny thing, trying to over control things this week. Motivated to get what you need to get done. So you might feel more motivated with this new moon. And we've got here, passionate about your own beliefs and what you have to say. So again, all about the communication is going to be coming up with this Mercury. Mercury is the way we think. It's the way we communicate. So it's going to be coming up a lot with our emotions and with this new moon energy. We've also got Venus moving into Taurus coming in the 18th. This is going to bring about things to do with our belief systems, our environments. Do we feel secure? Money can also be relationship. Venus in Taurus is going to be a strong aspect because it is ruled by Taurus. So Venus is going to be potent in this sign. It's also going to be conjuncting the node, which is on the 21st. So with this, it's going to be a destiny point or a life lesson to do with finances and also to do with love as well. It's like things are happening around the world at the moment with finances. You know, everything is just hanging on by a string. It just kind of feels like that. We've got Mars, which is going to make its way into Cancer. We've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Mars has been in Gemini for around since September, October last year. So it's finally making its way into Cancer on the 26th of this week. Mars in Cancer you might feel more motivated to get things done around the home. Mars can be a bit of a strength here, and it can be about taking action, getting things done to do with family and home, nurturing, healing as well. But then there also can be a bit of arguments here too, because Mars is also the god of war. I always say Mars is a double-edged sword. You don't know which one you're going to get. It's going to be a strength, or is it going to be a bit of frustration there? And then we've also on the Pluto coming on the 23rd into Aquarius for 3 months. I'll talk more about that next week, but that's going to be a big thing that's going to come up here. And Pluto in Capricorn at the end here, where we can see it's sort of destroying all of our institutions and governments and orders around the world. Everything's really coming up to a head here. And there's more things that are going to be coming up these 3 months with this Pluto energy going into Aquarius. And what else I've got coming up this week ahead? I've got here, destiny will take you on a ride which you wouldn't think or end up in. So what's going to happen this week, where destiny, where your path is going to take you, it's going to be somewhere where you didn't think or didn't expect to be ending up in. Got a light shining brightly. So I feel like this is more like spiritual work where our lights, our energy shining more brightly into where we're going, perhaps even getting more connection here to source. Staying on track, but staying more focused, staying on track. New ideas starting to emerge this week is going to come up for everyone. I've got here road hump suddenly appearing. So there could be, let's say, something about that's coming up with what I'm getting this week. The channeling that I've been getting is that sudden things in destiny, there's changes here. Where you thought you were going may not be where you're going to end up. I got here that there's going to be a sense of unity and togetherness coming up this week. There could be more rain coming up. I feel like in the other side of the world now, you're getting what we've been going through the last couple of years with the rain. We're now going through a heat wave where I am. So go here, take time to look at what has expired in your life. So things you don't need anymore. We always hold on to things to the very end, like security. We like to have security. We like to feel stable, but maybe we don't need those things anymore. So it is time to look at that and time to start fresh. I've got that also coming up for this week. Time to start fresh and make a new start on certain things. But I do feel like we are going to feel more motivated this week, which is going to be a big change too. Okay, let's go to the callers. So got here Amanda, who's in Baltimore, is it Maryland in America? So hi Amanda, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you today?
I'm good. How can I help you today?
I was looking for a love reading.
Sorry?
A love reading. I didn't know if that came through or not. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Love reading? Sure. Okay, let's have a look ahead here. So you're single at the moment, Amanda?
Technically, yes.
Okay. So I hear songs, certain things, and I just heard a song that said like I want to be single. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's have I also have someone here, I feel like it's for you as well, who I feel like their mouth, they had a dry mouth because my mouth was really dry. And before, I always get nervous and a bit anxious, but they were saying to me, I just dropped the card. Let me just get the card. They were saying to me that the nervous and anxious was them. So I feel like this person had a lot of anxiety and nervous. I feel like they are also a man too. I also feel like in their home they would like to have things all tidy and neatly and things in order. Like when I look in there, show me the kitchen cupboard and opening up a cupboard door and everything is in order. The glasses and things are the right way. Does this make any sense to you, Amanda?
No, because he's actually a really messy person.
No, it's someone that's passed over. Someone that's passed.
Oh, pass. Oh, I'm sorry. Not as of yet. No.
Okay.
I don't know anybody.
Okay. All right. Well, just keep it there. Bear in mind back of your head, because they're saying that you know them. Okay. Could be even your grandfather that's coming in here. I feel like it's a male. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at this love reading for you. Okay. I feel like coming up this week, you really got to say what you want with this relationship with this person. I feel like it's like he knows. I feel like the other person, I feel like he kind of knows where he stands or where he wants, but I feel like no one's budging. No one's coming. It's like you like the way how they are now, or one person likes the way they are now, but I feel like you're kind of together. You're together, but it's just hasn't been announced. So you just haven't come and said like out and said, "Oh, we're girlfriend and boyfriend." Um, I feel like I do feel like this person wants a relationship with you. With him being a bit messy, I feel like he likes someone that's going to clean up after him or pick up after him.
I
But I
do
feel
that
like with
all the
you,
time. Yeah.
okay. But I feel like you might get sick of that. You're going to have to get him to take some sort of responsibility for that. I can see you throwing clothes at him. So you might be like, oh, I'm sick of having to pick up after you. But I feel like this is a good energy. I feel like this could be a good match. I feel like he's there waiting. He's available. I feel like that he's like, here I am. So I feel like it's you. You're just got to come out and say what you want. But don't pick holes. Like don't pick holes at everything. Just come out and say what you want. You are very much the nurturing, the one that's looking after people as well. Um, okay, all right. So I'm talking to you. Plus, I have this still person that's talking to me as well. A person that's passed over. I'm going to say, did your grandfather on your mum's side of the family, have they passed over?
Yes.
And your mum, she used to also care and look after her father when he was here.
Not necessarily. I did.
You did? Okay. All right. It can be sense. Okay. Because talking about your mum's side, he's like, she looked at this card and he was saying, that's me, it's her with me. But I thought it was your mum, but it could be got the message wrong. It's you. I feel like the man that having spirit here is your grandfather. And
Yes.
he's, and he's saying that, it even could be you that likes everything neat and tidy. When he's showing me the kitchen cupboard, that could have been you. But he's saying, don't worry. He's saying, this man, I feel like this man that you got, he's telling me this man that you have in your life is opposite to you. And he's saying, but that's okay. He's like, we learn and we grow, but you're going to have a lot of fun with him. There's fun to be had with this man. He's all serious. Like I just feel like this man's waiting for you to say, yep, we're a couple. Let's go ahead with it. I feel like we're there. There's also, I feel like with you guys to travel, and that even could be coming up more next year than this year, but I do feel like there's traveling around Europe there with you guys that are going to go together. And I kind of feel like it's about starting like family. Like there's a future here with this person. They're not wasting your time. I just feel like you just got to come out and say what you're going to say. But I do see a future with him. There's also like financial stuff's coming up in the cards here that I can see with you as well. I'm hearing just don't worry, don't worry. It's like I've got to keep money in the bank or keep savings in the bank, and he's telling me to tell you like just don't worry, like everything is going to be okay and everything is safe. And I also feel like there could be a new job on the horizon for, I feel like not for you, for this partner, this man. A new job could also be coming up for him. It could be coming up near the end of the year, but I feel like there's a new job coming up for him. I feel like he's waiting. Is your partner, so this man that you've got with, is he waiting for more money to come in or waiting for a better job?
Am I?
No, the man. It could be you, but I feel like it's more the partner.
Yeah, he's working at a deli right now, but I don't really know too much because I'm not in contact with him. I just get little bits and pieces of it from his mom, what she tells me.
Oh, okay. He will get the job that he wants or that he's waiting for, but I feel like it's not until the end of the year, but it will come in. But as far as the relationship goes, I feel like you gotta say clearly what you want. And so I feel like he wants a relationship with you. I feel like he wants to move forward. There's a possibility also, I feel like wanting to move in together too. So I feel like, but I kind of feel like it's on you. Yeah, because I feel like he's already there, that he already wants to have a life with you. Is he in New York by
No,
any chance?
he's in Virginia.
Is that Virginia? Don't know where that is. Is that like a city? Like is in like
No,
where there's tall buildings and stuff?
No, he's in Virginia's a state.
Okay. I feel like I'm in some place like New York, like there's tall buildings, it's a busyness, it's a busy city. So whether you guys are going to go and visit New York or you're in a city like that, I'm seeing like a busy city. Um, to me, I'm seeing it as New York, but that's because that's all I know. I haven't been to America. So whether it be it's something like that or it is New York, I feel like you guys are going to go there. Okay. There is. Okay, so there is a big city in Virginia. So I just see you guys. I see you guys around that area in a city, and you guys are together. But just don't don't lose hope. But I feel like you're the one that has to. And I feel like this will be sorted by May. I feel like you guys are together in May. Like everything's sorted out, and you're together as a couple in May.
Okay.
I hope that helps you, to Amanda, and I'll just move on to the next caller. But thank you for calling in today.
All right. Did my grandpa have anything else to say?
Just asking quickly. He's just saying you're a bright girl. He wants to say hi to your mum for him. He misses her a lot, and he's like he sits with her. he sits with her. He laughs. I feel like this man has a jovial side, and I feel like your mum's maybe thinking about old times, and he's there with her, and they're sort of like they're laughing. He's laughing with her about old times and things that have happened, and he's just saying thank you for being there for him as well. You played a big part in his life, and it's something that this man always remembers and always keeps with him. But he's saying it's okay for things to be a little bit messy. He's saying it's okay for things to be a little bit messy. It's like just live your life and live it to the full. Okay. So we'll just move on now. Okay. Thank you. Move on to Sharon. So we've got Sharon here who's in Washington. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Oh, so,
Hi,
hi.
I'm good.
And how can I help you today?
I was hoping for a message from my mom or my dad today, hopefully.
Okay. Okay. As you were talking, I could see a lady coming through, and this lady, she had her hair is not straight. It has a curl to her hair. It's not it's like sort of above, kind of above the shoulder a little bit with her hair. She's wearing clothes that's it's not bright colored. They're more dull colored, but there's a jacket. Like she's wearing a skirt, a top, and the jacket, but it's not a bright colored outfit that she's wearing. It's like a grayish color, and I feel like her hair is not gray hair. So I feel like maybe she dyed it or got it done, but the hair to me, the way I see it, it's not gray. And she could be a little bit slow, but she doesn't take nonsense. She's happy to see you too. I feel like this lady's she's a helper, and I feel like also she was a bit independent too. Does that sound like your
Yeah,
mother?
that's my mom. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. She's like, hi. she's hi. She's like, hi. She's like
Hi.
saying you're very she's saying you're very special to her. She's calling you her baby girl. Like, so I don't know if she called you her baby girl when she was here or if you're the youngest, but she's calling you her baby girl. She's also giving you a flower. So I'm seeing like it's a yellow flower. Like to me, it looks like a daffodil. So I don't know if daffodils mean anything to her. But she's seen that. Did she pass from cancer by any chance?
No, I
No?
don't know. She died in her sleep, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. I just put that in there because sometimes in Australia, daffodil can be a symbol of cancer because we have a foundation here. So I just thought that might have been it.
Oh,
Or it could be just she
I
liked
just
yellow flowers.
I just bought daffodil root herbs.
The
Are you
daffodil?
there?
Yep, I'm here. You just
Yeah.
cut out a little bit. Okay. Yeah, because she's showing me that with you. Because she's giving that to you. And she's also very much a humble person. What do you want to tell her? I'm just seeing you, and she's like, we've got to start cleaning up. Like, we've got to start. I can see you, and there's a lot of stuff around you. She's like, we've got to start putting things in order. We've got to start cleaning up. This lady, like, I don't feel like she liked to just sit around. She liked to keep herself busy, and I feel like I need to sort things out. So I don't know if we do it around you at the moment, you need to sort some things out, or you need to do a bit of a cleanup. I am seeing a bit of a cleanup that's happening, where even like we call it here council cleanups, where we sort of anything that we don't want we can leave outside and the council comes and gets rid of it. But I just feel like there needs to be a big cleanup that happens, or that's going to happen around you. And this woman also loves her family as well. Over in the other side, she's got a lot of energy, and she's doing like she's able to do a bit of like she's dancing. She's being very energetic on the other side. She also has a cat. I can see a cat with her, and the cat is more than one color. It could be like a tortoise shell, but it has like a white, but it also has like an orangey yellow color to it. Great different colors on this cat. Have you got a cat that's passed, or does she have a cat?
Yes, we have a cat, Courtney.
Okay, because I can see the cat with this lady. and she's patting the cat too. I feel like she likes the cat. She's showing me that she likes the cat, and she's very proud of you as well. And she's, I don't know, sometimes you get very frustrated, or you like sort of get really holding and sort of, I can see you stamping your feet, and she's just saying, don't stamp your feet. She's like, it's okay, take things as they come, breathe, but don't stamp your feet. So I don't know, sometimes you get a bit frustrated, or you sort of stamp your feet in a bit of a, like, if you get a bit frustrated, or then things aren't going to go your way. But she's saying, don't stamp your feet, just be okay. Okay. There's also next March, I feel like you are going through your own transformation here too, because you're getting stronger. She's telling me you're getting stronger. She's like, there's a lot of healing that's been taking place. She's sorry that she went too fast. She's saying, I'm sorry that I went too fast. There was like no time to prepare. There was like things that needed to be done. It's like things that are left half done, and she's saying sorry for that, because I feel like this lady, if she knew, had a heads up, she would get things done in order, and she couldn't. And that even maybe what I'm seeing now, and what I was seeing earlier, where I was seeing things around you having to get things sorted out or cleaned done, because I feel like it's to do with your mum. But she's very happy, and you're also the leader, because she's telling me you are the leader, and you're the one that's going to have to lead everyone through this. But there is also, I feel like, within this year, so within March this now to March next year, there is something that's coming in here where there's an ending taking place, but you're moving on to something better. And I feel like this even could be to do with where you're living, or to the house, but I feel like you're moving on to something that's better. There is some sort of ending taking place here, but it's a good, positive ending that's coming up. So your father, he's still with us?
He's passed.
He's passed too. Okay. And did you look after you look after your dad? She's
Yeah.
talking about the dad. She's talking about the dad being looked after by the dad. Okay. He's thanking you for, I could feel there's a lot of thank you for that. He was a very reasonable man as well, but he wasn't as flexible as he could have been. He could have been more flexible, I feel like, with him too. But he's coming in and sending his love to you as well. And he's just saying, he's like, don't be uptight. I feel like we just need to relax and just try and just be flexible with what's coming in. But I feel like within a year, I feel like it's to do with the home, but there's something better coming in for you. It's a positive change that's coming in here. You're moving on to something better that's more fun.
Okay.
I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for you, Sharon. I hope I helped you today, and thank you for calling through.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, thank you for tuning in today. It's been a terrific show. If you want to contact me, you can on Lady D Psychic Parties. That's my website and my Facebook, my Instagram, Lady DS Psychic, same my TikTok, and my YouTube channel, Lady D or Danielle Psychic. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you for my next week's show. So bye for now.
Hello there, hi, and welcome to Eleanor Grace at gracedestiny.com. Now look, I've got my crystal ball here, all ready and waiting to really connect through to you tonight. Well, it's tonight here in the UK, of course, and over there in the States, it's early in the afternoon. I think it's even earlier in Australia, but welcome to the show. So this is my crystal ball. This is one with citrine in it, and I use this crystal to really focus onto prosperity and onto the finer essences in your reading. So we're looking at a higher energy, and we're looking at a higher profile here for you. And this, I think, will really just give you some extra little images to think about, some extra messages that may come through in a reading, but it heightens the connection between our mere mortal souls here and those loved ones in spirit, our guides, our guiding angels that walk alongside us invisibly very, very often. But also it will give us that extra intuitive power for ourselves. Each one of us will benefit from having a little look into the crystal or holding some crystals, maybe even getting a hold of a crystal ball yourself. So during the show here, I will be focusing onto the crystal, as well as really wanting to show you some of the cards as well that I use. Now, here, we've got them the right way up. Let's put them the right way up. There we are. These are the Mythic Tarot. Now, the Mythic Tarot are all about Greek mythology, which is hence the Mythic Tarot deck. These are very ancient. I've had these cards now for probably 30 years, I would say. So they're a bit battered and bruised. You can see all on the back of the cards there that they've been very, very well used. So these cards are very much about how to connect through to the ancient energies. So with these cards, I tend to look into the past a lot. Perhaps some past lives may come through as well. But this is about those ancient myths that were told thousands of years ago, to all of us to be able to understand moral codes and how to be aware of those other energies that we live with, because we are all walking alongside other energies too. So this is a really powerful tool to be able to use in your readings, and this is exactly what we are going to do here this evening. And this afternoon, of course. I mean, that's exactly where you are today. So the first card now that I am, in fact, going to look at here is where you are going in your life. So let's see here. This is the Five of Cups that is coming through. The Five of Cups is a card very, very much reminiscent of perhaps a person chasing a few rainbows down, just really pushing life forward, wanting to have some responses here from a loved one perhaps, or perhaps even just responses out there in society. But this is where you will really connect through to somebody who is special. You're waiting for that important person to come along. So I do think we've got Rachel here in Bear, Delaware. Hello, Rachel. Are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Hello, good. Hello to you. Okay, through to me, Eleanor Grace. Let me have a look at you. Now, first of all, I'm going to take a card for you, Rachel. And what I am seeing for you, more or less straight away, is a little bit of sense of foreboding that you're a bit sort of nervous and anxious, worried about the near future, the coming couple of months that is around you, and that is not something to be feared, not at all. But I feel that this has got some concern for you. So I think that these are important months now for you to be able to make decisions. You've been a hermit here, which is your present card. So I think you're locking yourself away and trying to understand what has happened in the past year. There's knowledge, understanding, wisdom that is with this card, but you're having to assimilate all of that information yourself. This is about you, your life, your place in it, and then, this little bit of trepidation going forward, January, February, March, these are the months that, really you're carving out a new pathway for yourself, and that's what I see. I see you walking barefoot along the beach, along the sand, and sort of making a sort of dredge for you. And this is very therapeutic. So if you could ever get to be near the sea at this time, near the coast, that would help. It would just bring in some energies that allow you to see that pathway in a real sense, in real time, because you do have a lot of doubts and fears as well. You will be presenting an opportunity or an outcome, solution, let me just put it like that. You're suggesting here something that you want to have with a partner, with somebody who is a man who's very close to you, a person that can make you happy and make you feel good. So you will have to present him with what you want, really, a big picture of what you want for yourself, for this relationship, and how you want to go forward. So I think it is painting a picture of your hopes and dreams. Lots of worries, I think, again, have come in the recent past. I feel that you have a sense of loss as well. That there are souls in spirit around you. I can sense them coming in and wanting to communicate with you as well, Rachel. And I've got two ladies that are here, one very strong man as well, and then there's other males behind him. So it does look as though there's a quite strong ancestral sort of feeling here that the angels are wanting to share with you, that your passions and your hopes and your dreams are in fact going to be realized, and that you don't need to be grieving or too overly concerned about those loved ones that have passed. They're being well taken care of. I feel that this is you that needs to be considering your position. So again, we've got this man here standing by your side. I feel that he is a powerful person. And a person that you have to persuade. So I think you're in the middle.
I just lost my
here.
fiance 2 weeks ago.
That's what it is. That's what the spirits are coming in. So who is it that you've got to persuade? Who is it that you're talking to, that you seem to want to have a resolution from? It's so powerful. So somebody is objecting to either what you want for yourself or what is being left for you. And that you have to come up with a solution. Do you understand that, Rachel? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
As long as you understand it, because sometimes we get messages and we think it doesn't quite make sense to me, but it will make sense to you. So the one man who's standing tall, he's got angels behind him, so it's him, isn't it? Your fiance. And who is Ben? Do you know a Benji or Ben? That name's coming through from spirit to me. Is he somebody that you're aware of?
No, I don't know any Ben.
Okay, not for you. This is your man, your fiance here, who you've lost, is here with you.
It was 2 weeks ago. I'm having a really hard time.
Oh, Rachel, this is awful. This is really awful for you. Was this sudden? Yeah. Did he go suddenly? That I felt as though
yeah.
It was an
overdose. It was not expected.
Yeah. I don't think he meant it, did he? It just didn't seem to be meant. Medication, was this prescription medication as well? Was he prescribed any medication here? Because I feel that it was something to hand. He had it in his hand. I'm being shown.
He may have had some in the medicine cabinet, but
okay,
I'm pretty sure it was other drugs.
Cocktail. There's another man here. I'm showing you him, and he seems to be important to you, and a person that will reach out to you very soon and will provide you with answers, and also will provide you with, I think, a lot of healing. There's healing. So at the moment you're in shock, Rachel. This is a complete shock for you.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Understandably, and you're left with all sorts here to try and work out. So we've got the crystal that I'm bringing in here, which has got some aquamarine light in it. This is very powerful healing light. This is what you're being sent, and you need it. You really do need to be shown which way to go forward, how you can really present yourself in the sort of manner that you want to. I think you've got pride and dignity. It's a lot to cope with, a lot to face, as you will be taking, strides forward. That name of Ben, which is, I think, Benji, I think it's actually Benjamin, is called Benji. It's been shouted out to me again. I want you to watch for that name over the next year, because I feel that this is a physical guide for you, somebody who is being sent to you to help you through this turbulent time, and also to make you see that you need to actually accept some good choices in your life. There are solutions here for you. And as I said to you, you're walking along the beach here. Maybe that's a symbol as well of spirit actually walking with you. So your fiancé walking along that sand with you, and you're carving out, you're dredging out here a new pathway. And that pathway has everything to do with you just making everything better for yourself, and also, allowing yourself to really make some great sort of, I think, sort of acknowledgements. I think you're acknowledging your fiance's part to play in your life, where he took you to, and also you playing such an important part in his life, where the two of you could.
We were
actually
together 24/7 all the time. We never left each other's side. Like, he was all I knew.
Yeah. And that's the closeness that I've got, how he has helped you, you have helped him. And that, I think, is a really sort of important recognition, and one in which you should be proud, because you've loved so deeply, and yet it's not the end for you. You still have a great deal to do here in your lifetime, and it's a long life that's ahead for you as well. There will be help coming. This is a tough time for you right now, but love is there. He is there for you. He's growing in strength and stature, and there's two ladies with him. So I'm going to wish you well, and I'm so sorry, so very, very sorry for your loss. A lot of people don't say that often enough, because it's so painful right now. But it's going to get easier, sweet. It will get easier. Make those decisions for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't punish yourself. It wasn't your fault. There was nothing that you could do, or nothing that could be done that wasn't attempted. So take care now, Rachel. I think the future, even though it seems very dark at the moment, will be very bright as you go forward. January, February, March, these 3 months are hard. 9 of Swords, lots of worry, anxiety, sort of crying tears. And of course, the event itself just 2 weeks ago. So not the best start at all to this year, but look forward. April will mark a turning point, and watch out for some birds, because I feel that birds come near your house, near your home, and they bring messages from spirit for you. So just look out for some chirpy birds around your windowsill, around your home, and that's him saying hello. So thank you for coming in, and I'm now going to, that's my pleasure, sweet, and cheerio. Do come through to me if you want a reading on my website. That's gracedestiny.com. Right now, I'm going to go to Laura. Hello, is it Laura?
Laura, yeah.
Laura, hello, Laura, hi. How are you, Laura?
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, not bad. Coming to you from London here in the United Kingdom. Laura, what I see for you is a great deal of how can I say it? You're starting again with a clean sheet of paper, that you're going to write your own story again, and that there's peace here all around you, and everything plain and simple and easy. So you've reached this point now after many, many trials and tribulations and sort of deliberations, I will say as well, onto what you should do next, where you should go next. And this, I feel, is your time that you're coming into that really dictates exactly what it is that you should be focusing on, what you should be concentrating on. And I've got the sun here that's shining for you. The sun is a very special card. It brings in happiness, and that's what you're looking for. A deep personal happiness that you can rely upon. There's a card behind it. So let's see what's there. You're going to be asking from the mythic deck. This is the Greek old ancient mythic deck of the tarot. You'll be asking for some guidance and also for some spiritual connections as well. These spiritual connections will be made, I feel, because you're asking for the guidance from spirit. It makes you very close here to spirit, quite psychic yourself, and wanting to explore a lot more and find out a lot more as well. Is that true? Is that what you're about now, that you want to see a lot more of what is happening in the spirit world and explore your own intuition and your own psychic senses, because they are being elevated? You will have had dreams, and you also are asking here for a wish. There's a wish that I think you've asked for already, that is going to be brought to you, is being brought true, is being made true. And this is about you being rescued and wanting to really feel as though you deserve a break, that you deserve to have special people around you, and that you're free. You're free of certain obligations and certain restrictions, and that what I want to do is sort of push away all the negative people that seem to be Klingons, as I call them, they're wanting to hang on to your energy. Do you understand that? Do you find that you collect these individuals, right, and they sort of feed off you a little bit, want to really take from you, and that's hard to cope with, isn't it? It is, really quite difficult to understand why people behave like that, but also I think that it shows you that you're a dynamo here. You're an attraction, you have a center of light that is bringing people toward. There is an isolation about you as well, that I think you would really want, a soulmate, somebody to come in and to share a pathway with you, not necessarily a physical partner. Pardon?
Yeah. No,
Pardon, what
so
did you
I
say?
have my husband, but I have been feeling lonely about my family, because I've been sick and I've had 3 surgeries, and I just felt like I didn't have anybody but my husband. Which was very sad.
This wasn't about your physical partnership, which is what I was going on to say, such as your husband. It's the wider picture of, isolation, having to deal with things on your own, having to cope on your own, and perhaps being disappointed as